mana belanja kertas. Ya.
It will be a hero squad now. Dropping on an M&G from the bottom. Did not expect Coco to pop out of nowhere. And he pulls out the MSMC. Goes in for another spray. Rizal in front of him. No nades in his hands. And he will be taken down. No, he does not. He actually manages to knock down Eman. Rizal will be able to respond. The backup comes through as well as Kate.
Yeah, and they're just gonna be fighting and play very tricky terrain to fight. And those Moonwalls, they don't really cover all the angles, but Ashen will be able to at least down one. Does get traded back.
They come in through as well with the melee in hand, not able to switch out his gun in time, gets knocked down onto the ground. Shotgun unable to make the play, Epic gets taken out, and yes, the grenade launcher comes out, but not much from Mio, still surviving, and he gets the pull!
She will now be the lone survivor with an SMG in hand. That is his duty. Can he go for the spray? Nice, the first one to go. Taken as a rifle. He's got to take the shot. Misses the first one. Second one goes wide. Oh, Taken! You cannot miss those shots. Get 904. Phoenix down to the blue zone. So Hero also gets eliminated by the end of the day.
Stepping on it. Oh, beautiful. He pulls out the blue wall, but the nade still managed to get through us.
Yeah, and the second A also gets a tag on the second floor. You can see that Riven, he does have his own name, but he thinks against it and think I will fight two more on the second floor. Keppa has already made his entrance and they know that they have already won this fight without even trying too hard.
White team, blue team, 2 minutes. 2 balloons, 2 lights.
Yeah, okay.
Take your time. Let's go.
Welcome to the new age! Booyah!
Let's go for it.
Menang belanja kereta. Ya. It will be a hero squad now. Dropping on an M&G from the bottom. bottom did not expect Coco to pop out of nowhere, and he pulls out the MSMC, goes in for another spray. Rizal in front of him, no nades in his hands, and he will be taken down. No, he does not. He actually manages to knock down Eman. Rizal will be able to respond. The backup comes through as well as Kate.
Yeah, and they're just gonna be fighting with very tricky terrain to fight. And those blue ones, they don't really cover all the angles, but Ashen will be able to at least down one. Does get traded back.
They come in through as well with the melee in hand, not able to switch onto his gun in time, gets knocked down onto the ground. Shotgun unable to make the play, Epic gets taken out, and yes, the grenade launcher comes out, but not much from Mio, still surviving, and he gets the pull!
He will now be the lone survivor with an SMG in hand. That is the Uzi. Can he go for the spray? Nice, the first one to go. Taken as a rifle. He's got to take the shot. Misses the first one. Second one goes wide. Oh, Taken! You cannot miss those shots. Hit 904. Vanix down to the blue zone. So Hero also gets eliminated by the end of the day.
Stepping on it. Oh, beautiful. He pulls out the blue wall, but the nade still managed to get through us.
Yeah, and the second A also gets a tag on the second floor. You can see that Riven, he does have his own name, but he thinks against it and think I will fight two more on the second floor. Keppa has already made his entrance, and they know that they have already won this fight without even trying too hard.
White team, blue team, 2 minutes. To balloon to life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Free Fire Challengers Series Malaysia, where we have gathered the top 18 Free Fire teams in the country to battle it out for their huge share or a tiny little piece of a massive 125,000 ringgit prize pool. My name is AJ, I'm the Mustachio, and with me at the casting desk today, the one and only amazing Holla.
Hey, how are you doing today? It seems like everyone's very energetic, excited about week 2, day 1. This is going to be going in. I'm very excited to be here. I'm happy to be here, casting a line alongside the legendary AJ Mustachio. And again, we're here a Saturday night, prime time, Challengers Malaysia. How hyped are you for today?
Super hyped, man. I mean, on day number 2, it just seemed like GeekFam had finally awoken the Malaysian beast in themselves, right? They hit that 20 bomb, and I cannot wait to see if or not they will hit the similar stride. But at the very same time, Blacklist International has definitely been the team that has been slowly climbing up the leaderboards, right? Team Princess as well. They've had their fair share of instances impressing us. But the interesting thing here about the Free Fire Challenges Malaysia Season 1 is that there's just not that one single team that's dominant all throughout the competition so far. And that's exactly what's exciting to watch, Holla. How all of them try to beat each other round after round, scraping their way up to the top.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. I mean, if we're looking at even the group breakdown, I think that there's a whole bunch of good teams in Group C. I'm gonna have to say, I think that was the group of death. But as you rightly pointed out, Group Princess, that is a team that's kind of coming out of left field. I think they've made a name for themselves. This is a team to watch out for. They've got some great momentum coming into this league. And again, it's not the fastest start. I mean, to win this one, but you got to make sure that you're in the running, and they've done a great job for that.
Well, we talked a little bit about the prize pool, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 125,000 ringgit. Here is the breakdown. For each and every single team at the league stages, they will get a little bit of this pie. That's why I said whether it's a big slice or a tiny little bit, right? Because look at that at the very bottom, 250 ringgit for those who pick up the 17th and 18th spot. That's the super consolation prize. 500 ringgit for those who are in the 15th and 16th. 13th and 14th spot gets 750 ringgit, and all of these teams say bye-bye because the top 12, they will have one more final day of 6 rounds to play at the grand finals, and that's a totally different prize pool. But of course, for the league stages itself, they still do bag up quite an amount, all the way up to 7,500 ringgit at that number 1 spot. But this is nothing in comparison to page number 2, Holler.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this. I mean, getting into the big grand finale is the biggest part, right? As you rightly mentioned, top 12 make it in there, but this is where the big money is at, right? First place, 45,000 ringgit. Second place, 20,000. Third place, 10,000. I mean, if you're in top 3, you're rolling in that money. You're like Uncle Scrooge in DuckTales. But I mean, 7,500, 5,000, 3,000, 1,000, and then 750, 500 for 11th and 12th. But again, you probably want to be in the top 6, because that's where the real money's at.
And this is why I love Garena. This is why I love Free Fire. That they, no matter who you are, no matter what, as long as you've made it into the stage, everybody gets a little bit of something, right? Everybody has got something in here to fight for. But, and they get to motivate themselves. They get to motivate themselves that if they do slightly better, the bonus is just slightly sweeter. So we will see exactly who those teams are as they continue rising up to the top today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Of course, we have got so many teams that we have got our eyes on. Casters specifically, our production team, they are having their eyes on a few people as well. We're going to be introducing them to you in a little bit. But please, in the meantime, let us know who are you looking out for in the comments section.
Yeah, but also we're going to look at how the point system works. It's going to be first place for that elusive Booyah. That's going to net you 12 points. Second place, 9, 8, 7, all the way down to 0 points with 11 and 12th place. But of course, if you get some kills, it's not the worst thing in the world to be eliminated as long as you're killing a lot of other people, because you get a single point for each kill that you're going to get. So again, it's just a combination of all these things. And of course, this is throughout the entire league stage. So we have many, many days and play days that are going to be going out. And of course, you want to get into the top 12, and that's going to be a cumulative of all of those points, where then we get into the clean slate, where we get into that grand finale where, the only thing that matters is going to be that day. But, this is going to be the consistently in terms of how the points work. So it's going to be throughout.
Yeah, absolutely right. And those skill points are extremely precious, very, very important. And a team like Eastern Wolves Gang, they most definitely understand this. Why? Because although they have got 51 placement points, on the kills department, they're not really doing all that too great, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. EWG in Group A, so we'll definitely be able to see within the first 2 rounds itself as to how they are feeling in here today, whether they're going to be aiming for yet another Booyah, whether they're going to be rising up to the top, or are we going to see more passive plays from them where they purely focus on all of those placement points? Of course, Group A, Dua Brade, Epic, EWG, Hero, Metrics, as well as Team Princess. And the team to highlight in Group A, I have to say, Team Princess, the team that most definitely has shown us that they can play both for placements, those aggressive kill points, as well as pick up a Booyah for themselves, Ola.
And I mean, not to be undermined by the fact that Group B, they got some strong contenders as well. I think AKO Steady Squad, this is a team that we've seen throughout all of the, the MCP Season 2. They've done quite well, and they're actually only 11th place. They did score 42 points in the last play day 2, so they're kind of in the running. They did have a great day 2 as opposed to a great day 1. But Secret Expert is another team that you need to look out for. This is a top 4 team. They're 4th place right now. They had 42 points as well. And then we're looking at the other ones, not to take anything away from the rest of them. Devour, Unmind, Die Hard, New Gank, and of course we just mentioned Secret Expert. So these are teams that you're gonna want to actually play for, because we talked about Group C being the group of death, but A and B, they're gonna be out first. But we're gonna see the schedule to see the entire play day.
Absolutely, man. And of course, today is the day where we will be bouncing back and forth through Kalahari as well as Purgatory. And if there's something that I've understood, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, Garena Free Fire most definitely has found the perfect balance when it comes to scheduling, which means you see all of those timing. We are going to be doing our best to keep to it. And if possible, we are going to be hitting it slightly earlier with these lobbies as well. So don't be jumping right back in at 9 p.m. if you want to catch that match that you want to watch. Maybe your team that you're supporting is playing in there. You want to be slightly earlier, but as best as possible, we will try to not be late for any one of these flights. Group A versus B, B versus C, and of course, we finish things off with Group A going up versus Group C, Holler.
Yeah, and very tightly contested, right? Even the maps that we see, Kalahari, Purgatory, were just they're very well known in the Free Fire world. These are probably one of the the most popular maps, I would say. But if we're gonna look at the teams to watch, and all the teams that you mentioned, rightly so, Team Princess, I think that they had a great showing. They were the surprise of day 2. They really shot up there with 50 points. That was a monster game by Team Princess.
Oh, absolutely, man. And of course, Geek Fam dropping the 20 bomb. And I believe the record holders for the competition in here so far with the 21 kills. And Argon MY, in their own accord, they most definitely have been doing good enough to get themselves into the top 5, but not as good as the likes of Geek Fam, because they really need to solidify their kills department. They're not super aggressive, a little too passive at the very moment, but there's one MVP in there in the name of Pedro who will be able to help his team members rise up to the top. Let's see if not Argon MY can lean on him a little bit stronger in here today, because we've seen a couple of instances where Pedro just wasn't given that support that he required, and Argon MY, they kind of downed and outed in a couple of these rounds a little too early. But that being said, they're still the team with the most number of booyahs in the competition so far, Holler.
Yeah. And this is a team that was on the rise. We saw them get slowly, steadily better. We saw a lot of growth in MCP Season 2, and I thought I was really hyped for them. Unfortunately, they only got 9th place in MCP Season 2, but this is a team that's still continuing to grow, right? We're seeing a lot of, strides that they're making, and they're top 5 now. This is a team that's, hey, they're coming to the top. And they can, they win names. And Blacklist International, Geek Fam, both of these are teams that they want to take down.
Absolutely, man. And it's just so amazing to see the Free Fire Challengers Malaysia Season 1's, roster as a whole, because when you look at those teams that are in the 6th spot all the way down to the 9th, you've got Epic, Freedom Rumble, Sorry Raw, Eastern Wolves Gang, EWG, and these are no small names. These are names that most definitely have shown us their dominance out there on the battlefield, Freedom Rumble especially. But, there's just something that's a little off with Freedom Rumble's play, right? A little bit too aggressive sometimes, and they kind of get pushed out of these lobbies a little prematurely. Hopefully today is the day where they will be able to fine-tune and perhaps figure out exactly what went wrong last week and be able to rise back up to the top. Because if that happens, my friend, that just makes this whole competition so much more exciting. All of the teams on that first page most definitely showing us just within the first 2 days that they deserve to be there. Now, here's the thing. If we move to these matches in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see if or not we will be able to bring up a couple of stats for you guys later on. Because in terms of Geek Fam rising up to the top, they are the one team that has not only managed to maintain their golden balance, but they've managed to smash it as well. 53 placement points, Holler, and 59 on the kill points. The only team to be so dominant with their kills exceeding their placement points in the competition so far.
Yeah, they're a monster, right? I think Geek Fam have just, proven time and time again that they are the favorites here. I think every team needs to respect them, and until any team can really take them out, I think that you have to put these guys in the top 3 almost guaranteed. I mean, maybe it's too early to say. So strong team that you're going to continue to see throughout. But again, we could talk about all day about Group C because of the fact that there are some stone cold killers. There's 3 in the top 5 that happen to be there. Argon Malaysia, 5th place, Blacklist International, Sequoia's Geek Fam that we've talked about. And then you did mention about Freedom Rumble. This is a team that, they're 7th place, overall. Yeah. But the thing is that they're in this situation because they have so many killers in that group. It's kind of difficult to find some kills when everybody else is stealing them from them.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with you, right? And one more, I guess, award that has been continuously given out that we can, keep count of as well is the 6 MVP titles that we have given out in the Free Fire Challenges Malaysia so far, and 4 of those MVP titles actually belong to teams within Group C itself. And and that's just absolutely mind blowing because of not just the dominance that they show out there with all of the placement points, how they manage to get up to the top, but it is all of those dominant kills that they manage to pick up for themselves, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, which of course continues to impress everyone. Team Princess, they will go ahead to pick Stone Ridge Santa Catarina for the players of Devora. Let's see if or not we will find a few of those early engagements as Dua Barade drops in very, very close to MND Diehard as well. And of course, Team Metrics, they are not in the clear as New Gang picks the exact same drop zone with them at Refinery, Hala.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to see the drop now, and we're going to look at Mind right now, but it's kind of what where everybody's thing, and we're going to see already. Metrics is already in the action. Rye is looking to just get some, just run up on people, and Metrics has gotten the jump on them.
Well, let's see if or not they will be able to recover from this. And New Gang, most of the times they've not really been in the best of positions in the competition. 17 kills so far. They most definitely have been struggling in in a lot of these engagements. Asip from afar, he won't be able to give any backup. Riven was alone for a second. That Mocha will be able to catch Fikayan out, and the players of New Gang, they are trying to catch up with each other, perhaps to play a game of numbers, but Metrics now overcoming the situation really quick. Mocha with a shotgun, Fikayan down on the ground, taking a 2-on-1 situation. Mocha just does not care, manages to shut down the plays of both these players, and Team Metrics, they will be on the hunt for that one final player, and there was just no way they were going to allow New Gang to get away with that. And New Gang, on the other hand, just a little unfortunate with the early pickups of the loots, just not fortunate enough to pick up enough artillery to fight the players who just overcame the situation way too easily. Drex will be able to get out of there as quick as his feet can take him, and let's see if or not he will be able to play the game of survival. A quick update, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will just have to chill with the Mustachio for a bit. My man Holler will be right back with us as we're facing a little bit of a tiny technical difficulty. Eastern Wolves gang. Let's see if or not they are able to conquer the maze. Well, for the time being, they're not going to see anyone in here, but we do know that there are a couple of launch pads that can send players into this compound in a couple of seconds. You also do have the zip line connected there. So this is a situation that the Eastern Wolves gang most definitely have to keep their eyes out for. A team that has been able to play placement points really well, but just struggle in those kills department, just like New Gang most definitely do. Team Epic, on the other hand, a team that has been epically rising to the top, 47 with the placement points and 31 kills in the competition, sitting down just behind Argon MY, 10 points in here to catch up, and 10 points can just be solved with one map, one match. Let's see if or not they will be able to rise up to the top on the way there. AKO, the team who has most definitely been struggling, kills, especially 19 kills overall, and that just doesn't seem to be the usual AKO. So far, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody will just be holding off on those engagements, and Team Metrics especially, as they now know they have got that full compound of Refinery. Let's see if or not they will be able to continue their momentum, because one of the things about Refinery, Holler, is the fact that if you overstay your welcome, you will get punished later on if the safe zone's just not on your side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Refinery is one of those places where it's super scary, right? There's a lot that, teams might be fortifying in there. They might be bunkering down. You got to be a little bit careful with how you approach this, right? So if we're looking at D4R right now, they're just kind of peeking around, just making sure that they get a little bit of recon, a little bit of intel, because it looks like, what was that, 2BR are kind of in the area. They definitely need to be careful with this team.
Absolutely, Dua Baradit now. They have got most definitely the hillside to play with, and Jimmy Quest forced to use one of his glue walls. Dua Baradit now know of the situation. Oh my goodness, but Metrics beyond the horizon as well. This does not seem to be the best of spots to be caught in here. Hero on the map as well. Devora, they have got absolutely nowhere to run. They just have to stay put and wait and see exactly which one of these opponents rushes into their compound and perhaps take it from there, Holler.
Yeah, yeah, and if we're looking at it, I mean, Jimmy Quiz right here, he's got his frying pan out. He's actually, I don't know if he's ready for them or to fry up an egg at the moment, just to kind of bide a little bit of time. But yeah, they're playing patiently, right? I think in Free Fire, and especially in Battle Royales, you don't want to be, rushing out there. You don't want to be, out in the open, so to speak. You want to just get the jump on people. But as I say that, they're being very patient. Metrics, on the other hand, I love this high ground, peeking off and trying to take as many kills as they can. I mean, Mocha right here has got 2 kills already. Is he able to just get another one? And probably not, as Tua runs into the building for cover.
Oh, smart play by Mocha, just cutting Tua off from the rest of his team members and just making sure they play a lot of pressure. But Tua now just very smartly keeping an eye on those players of Metrics. Now, although that high ground is really, really safe, it gives you that bird's eye view. It's also easy for those players from that bottom angle to take those headshots. So the movement from Mocha there was really, really important. And that prevention also has its downsides. He allowed Tua to make that cross. They don't really get to play a lot of pressure. Pros and cons of holding such a situation. But of course, as we switch our attention over to Epic, they seem to have spotted a team from across. I haven't gotten their name just yet, but let's see if or not they will go in here aggressively to look for some kill points early, Holler.
Yeah, they need to find something. I think at the end of the day, you want to be getting those pickoffs. Yeah, your team, you need to take a little bit of risk, try to get some sort of kills just so that you have some points moving in. Because at any moment, if you get into a team fight 4v4 and you got wiped out, you got nothing, you're coming home with a donut, right? You don't want that. Obviously, you want to be very careful with how you proceed here. As I say, that Crown 86 is looking for that perfect shot, has not given away his position yet. But he fires something, does wound Moon, but that's pretty much it.
And for all of those new Free Fire players out there, what you just saw Moon doing, moving in his circular motion right there, it's exactly what prevented Crown 86 from hitting him with that car, and that just basically saved them all of those resources. Even if Crown did manage to get that knock, the probability of him getting a kill would have most definitely been very low because of the rate of fire out of the car, and Moon usually holds on to a lot of those defensive positions where he can just, crawl behind a little bit of a cover and do not get killed. The backup from the rest of his team members available as well. So it's really nice to see AKO Steady Squad play all of these tactical positions. But once again, man, in the kills department, they just seem to not be able to find their stride just yet, Holla.
Yeah, they haven't been able to find it, but it's just the circle hasn't been there, right? Once things get a little bit more tighter and like constricted, and you're going to see a little bit more action here. Right now, people are just sniping from afar, just getting intel more than anything else, and just being very, very passive. I think that at the end of the day, you want to make sure you get those placement points. The easiest way to do is play possum. Hide out a little bit, make sure that you're not taking too many fights and taking too much risk.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely agree with you, man. I mean, sometimes, you see some of these teams going super aggressive at the get-go. Yeah, they do manage to bag a lot of kills, but they're not, they're all, at the very least, very rarely seen in that final zone. And now, Dua Barati starting things off against Metrics, but Kaiser is the one to get knocked down first. Crown 86 on the ground as well. Is Metrics going to be able to overrun the situation? Akim's with a great comeback in here, but danger zone now. Going to be forcing both of these teams to look for cover in a couple of seconds. Rich now down on the ground. Mocha strikes, but Metrics will go ahead to lose one player. Dua Barati still sustaining this fight by picking each other up, but Mocha, the one who will slay each and every single player that steps in front of him. 4 kills in here so far, and it looks like Eastern Wolves Gang wants to come in here for a challenge as well. Mocha again, Holler, with the save for his team.
Oh, this guy's completely on point, and he's looking to go for him. He went to the high ground. He's got a glue wall up, protecting himself, but 4 kills to his name. 2B, they were completely caught unaware, and Metrics just making a name for themselves, and they've got 6 kills to their name already at the 9-minute mark and eliminate 2BR first, and they're the first team out.
And now Hero dropping in here to see if or not they can play against Devora. Jimmy Quest now on the ground. Rambo with the double vectors making it look way too easy. Neki comes back in there for the backup as well. Devora being attacked by AKO at the very same time. A three-way party that Devora's not too happy with. Cyber, the final player in here, pulls out the shotgun, gets a knock, but it is not enough. No kills picked up just yet. Cyber needs to save Neki at the very least if they want to be able to survive this, but auto knockout coming in here to pick up the pieces and be the biggest winners of all. And now Hero will have to deal with them at the same time. Look for this final player from Devora, Holla.
Yeah, Cyber here just playing a little bit safe here. He's just hiding behind the glue wall right now, but he's the last one. I think he's just letting other people die or to just hopefully just run out of the building more than anything else. He doesn't want to take any action. He knows that there's a full squad right there and he does not want to die. So at this moment, he's just like, hey, if I don't move, maybe they don't see me. And then maybe some other team gets third party here. As I say that, it does look like one of the other teams has found Hero in this building.
AKO and Hero going up against each other. Metrics might just drop by in here as well to see if they can pick up. Oh, Cyber! Cyber steals a quick kill. What a hero! And I don't mean the players of Hero themselves. Here comes 2-1 knocking Metrics from the back, which means Metrics will not be coming in here for a quick third party to pick up a couple of kills. And now Hero running around in circles. Rizal is not able to find any of those AKO players just yet. And AKO, look at this careful approach that they're going in here to this compound, not really rushing in. And step by step, they're going in there, opening up with the nades first, and then the double vectors get popped out by Moon. The backup is most definitely there. Rizal knocks down Ajem. Moon comes back in here. Iman GG on the ground, and the rest of those Hero players say bye-bye as they get knocked out in the 9th spot. Ajim Boo gets picked right back up. AKO automatically the biggest winners of that encounter, Ola.
Incredibly surgical on that one. AKO, everybody was reloaded, good to go, and on count of 3, they just went in like a SWAT team. They completely wiped them out. Hero really had no chance. But the unfortunate part through all of that was that Metrics. We were talking so much about that. The fact that they got 6 kills, they put themselves at risk a lot, and that's kind of what happened. They got eliminated 11th. They're going to come home with 0 placement points for that game, which is really unfortunate considering they got the 6 kills. So it's a bit of a wash right now. A little bit of an issue as they move forward. Maybe Metrics need to just kind of tone it down a little bit at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. And on top of that, they kind of overstayed their welcome. I mean, Refinery is most definitely the place where all of those teams want to go. How many of those zip lines lead directly into Refinery? So if you're going to be holding on to that compound, yes, you do get the bird's eye view, but the trade-off is you remain, super open. You need to be ready for those engagements at any point of time, and they may just come right back to back. And I believe they did take those back-to-back fights, rise up above it. But, it was just a matter of time before someone got the better of them, man. And like you said, that just broke down. But as the safe zone now closes in, it just brings a little bit more chaos along with it. Eastern Wolves gang right behind Secret Expert. Secret Expert can't move because in front of them, they've got Team Princess. On the right-hand side, they've got AKO. On the left-hand side, they've got Epic. This is an epic battle just waiting to break down. And you gang drops by to say hi as well.
It's so hard because the circle is slowly constricting the movement right there, right? Secret Expert right there. Yes, they're, 4th place right now, but the thing is that they're 3-man. They lost somebody early. AKO, Mr. Sniping out Slayer. He does go down, so that's a nice pick, but New Gank actually ends up stealing that kill. Oh my gosh. So much action. So difficult to find. How do you draw a beat on anyone?
New gang, you just do you, man. You keep stealing those kills. I'm absolutely fine with that. I mean, they've been struggling. They need those couple of points for themselves. And if that's the safest way for them to pick up a couple, why the hell not? Ajim Boo now with the LMG just spraying down those players of Eastern Wolves gang as they cut the distance between themselves as well as Secret Expert. Secret Expert having their compound knocked down onto EWG. Opening up with those nades, will not be able to find anyone except his own team members. Fall, bad communication right there as they wasted one nade, but right into the time turner. Fall will be able to go back in there for that support as well. Manchai to get picked up in a couple of seconds, and they will be able to continue this run around, but not find that final player right behind the glue wall, and Secret Expert gets eliminated.
Yeah, they're eliminated 7th right there. I mean, I think they only had 2 kills to their name. So Secret Expert, they had a target on their back being in the top 5, and you see why. Teams wanted them, and they knocked them out very, very early. As I say, that Icon Flame with some nice sniper shots. AGM right here with a triple K, and New Gank eliminated 6th.
AKO steady squad finding their own strut in here steadily, step by step. Ziga, Tua shut down from afar. EWG now needs to deal with Icon as well, but this is a situation they most definitely can handle in a bit. Ooh, Team Princess a little unfortunate as Epic finds the better of them. AKO now, they will be able to gatekeep the players of Icon, but at the very same time, they have to pay a little bit of attention to EWG on their right-hand side. So their powers are now split into two, but look at this, Epic coming in to help AKO at the very, very crucial point, and they will be able to hold back, but AKO ends up shooting them as well, and this is just truly a pandemonium breaking out in front of us, and Icon's just staying out of it. Just go ahead, complete this round. They'll probably try to steal a couple of kills.
It doesn't really, I mean, Icon is in a great spot. They're in the circle. They have these like tents that are kind of providing a lot of cover. They're able to third party and just pick off people. As I say, that Epic does get eliminated. EWG would fall with a triple kill there. But again, Icon, everybody has to come to them. There's nobody behind them. So they are in a prime position to take this one as there's only 2 teams left.
Icon with the best position in the game. Fall, super low on that HP, and he does not get allowed to take himself out with the safe zone. And Icon with a very, very impressive booyah in here to open up the day.
Yeah, I mean, Icon, they had 14 points on day 1. 3 points on day 2. They've got the booyah here. Congratulations to Flamemon, Mayos, New Boys, and Yun for this booyah. This is a huge step up. Definitely something they needed, as this is day 3 now. Very, very commendable by them, and they're look at how super excited they are. They're just standing up. They're just knowing that that was something they really, really needed to stay in this league.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Team Icon, they desperately needed a booyah for themselves on day number 1, and they did manage to find it on game 2, but after hitting that booyah, their performance kind of dipped a little bit, but they find a little bit of their stride right back in here. AKO as well, they kind of found a little bit of that momentum, but I have to say, luck most definitely played a huge part in this particular game, right? The gods of RNG kind of favored Icon in this particular circumstance, where all of those other teams just unfortunately were right outside of the zone, and there was no way they were going to be able to make that move any earlier, because as you try to push forward, you have to deal with Icon. You're going to be able to pull out your glue walls, but at the same time, you've got 2 teams on your right-hand side who will be able to take those backstabs against you, and none of those 3 squads wanted to be the first ones to make that mistake. But at the same time, they make another mistake by basically not deciding to move at all, and they all get squeezed in by the safe zone. That was just so much of pressure, too much of pressure, and Icon just got that way too easy, Holla.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost like I think the Free Fire gods were giving it to Icon right there because of the fact that the circle was perfect. They had really nice cover, but let me just apologize. I said that they got 3 and 14 points. They actually got 9 points on day 2 and 32 points on day 1. This is still a 14th place team. Icon are still in it. Yeah. Getting that booyah there will really help them out. That's a perfect start to day 3 for them. I'm really happy for them, and sometimes luck plays in a role in battle royales, and it just happened to be there to go their way. Very nicely done by Icon.
Absolutely, man. I mean, luck most definitely plays a huge role, and what makes those supreme battle royale teams out there is how do they manipulate some of this luck for themselves. And it was Icon, right? Because most of the time it's all about the positioning that you have on the map as well, really watching the safe zone. And what AKO did is basically seen right there already with their disability to make that decision to start moving in accordance with that safe zone. Icon, on the other hand, that was the main thing that they paid attention to. They wanted to play those placement points. They wanted to make sure safety's first, we get ourselves into that final zone, and then we start engaging with the other teams. Because when they were getting into that final zone, we could see they barely had kills on them, and that was their winning strategy.
Sometimes you play a little bit of hide and seek, right? The fact that you can just stay alive. It's just a matter of taking. If you can be the third team, third partying everybody else in every single fight, you're going to be in a good spot, right? And I think that was kind of their strategy. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. This time they got super lucky. They were very, very good. They didn't get the most amount of kills. But we're going to see the round standings to see exactly how they played out. And I think they did obviously very, very well. But to be honest, I'm not sure about the exact kills. I think it was closer to 5, I want to say. So that and a Booyah, 17 points. But again, we're going to have to see the official one. As I said, okay, they got 7 kills. So not too bad by Icon. But EWG, this is another team that we're seeing a huge upward trend on. They got 49 points in day 2, last week. And they've got another 17 points to their name.
Yeah, solid performance by EWG. AKO steady squad hitting the stride as well. Great performance with those skills, and 8 with the placement points as well. Just a little unfortunate with the lack of decision making towards that final zone. Although it's understandable, they should have made a little bit of a preemptive attack against the team Icon as they were trying to play that survival, but instead they just kind of get caught into that moment. Team Epic managing to pick up the 4th spot, and this is great for them as they continue to look for the top 3 placement within the competition with 11 points. Metrics, Team Princess at the 5th and 6th spot. Secret Expert, New Gang, MND Diehard, Devora, Hero, as well as Duo Brade wrap up the leaderboards for game number 1. Overall, impressive stuff coming in here from Icon. Icon in the very first week, first day, they managed to pick up an MVP title for themselves, and it was Mios that managed to get that. Are they going to be able to perform in the same way again as well? 2 games back-to-back most definitely can secure that for them, Olive.
But let's give a little bit of a limelight to Metrics, right? They were They were pretty much John Wick in this one, in the sense they got 7 kills super early. They didn't actually eliminate any teams though, but I don't remember if they were 11th or 12th in terms of elimination. But hey, Metrics, continue to do what you do, right? Get those kills. Make sure that, hey, if you get eliminated, this is a risk versus reward game. I'm going to take it every single time. I know I can win those 50-50 fights. I'm going to take over. So Metrics, really good game by you. We see you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love the way Metrics took that fight. I love the way that they got super duper aggressive, and it was just big brain plays coming out from them all together. And Mocha, most definitely the supreme MVP of the team this time around, right? But what happened to them in this particular game kind of shows exactly why Metrics shouldn't be 100% sticking to this one strategy, and they have to play a little bit of what Icon has shown them. Play the game of survival first and then show your stuff towards the end of the game, because the placement points play such a huge role. Although they did tremendous, although they were one of the most impressive teams out there with the kill, the guys bomb out with no placement points. Whereas Icon, they get in towards that final zone. They bag those 7 kills, and poof, 12 points out of nowhere. And these guys are going to be super happy with, exactly how they performed in here, right? So both of these teams quite similar with the performance in the competition so far, the consistency as well. So I'm very sure if Metrics can hit those kills, they can play those strats as well, Holla.
Well, okay, let me be honest here. I think AJ as coach, I think that's very good advice and something that you should be looking to do. Play a little bit, carefully, as Icon did, and then just, you can pull it out. But as a viewer, I just want to see kills. I want to see Metrics just turn it up to 11, and let's go into Purgatory, because that's where we're going to see them back in again. This is going to be Group A versus Group B again, and if I'm the coach of Metrics, I'm just telling them, I don't care what your placement is. I want to see 7 more kills. Let's go.
And you know what? I love that as well, Holla. Let's see if or not they will be able to keep it up. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, Purgatory. And are they going to be stuck between hell and heaven? We will find out here. The one thing that is most annoying about this map is the distance between those compounds, the amount of distance that they have to cover as they travel from one zone to the other, how open those planes are. So those vehicles that they managed to find early on in the round, definitely going to be deciding between life or death for some of these squads, Holla.
And not only that, but the fact that there's going to be a lot of rivers, right? So you might have to swim your way across. You don't want to get caught out. I think the biggest thing is just making sure that you're in the right spot at the right time, especially when that circle is honing in on you. You got to make sure that you're in a good spot. You do not want to get caught on the other side of the river and have to make your way over, because people are going to gatekeep you. They're going to see you swimming, and they're going to see your rubber ducky that you got with you, because they're going to just pick you off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Devora, the last thing they want is to meet Hero, because I saw Jimmy Quest kind of flying off a stray goodness knows where away from his team members. Hopefully the guy snaps back into reality. But Hero playing the buddy system as they split up from each other as they try to loot up their compound. And MND Diehard, it looks like they've spotted the players of Duo Barade, and they want nothing to do with them as they scoot out of there the very moment they drop on. And I love this from MND Diehard. They've been struggling in the competition, and they do not want these early engagements. They want to play that safe game, but it's also not very safe running out in the open.
Right. And that happens to be like with a warm-up game, right? Especially in the newer teams that are joining this league, you got to get your footing, right? You got to understand the play style. So sometimes it's just a matter of just the small wins. Make sure you get the placement points. Make sure that you have something at the end of the day that you can build off of, right? You don't have to go in guns blazing all the time. You need to figure things out. You got to find your momentum. You got to find out what works for you and how the other teams are really playing against you. So I like that, and just playing it safe. I mean, it's only 2 minutes into this game already, so we have plenty of time to get your kills later.
Check this out, man. The savior is here. Jimmy Quest, I don't know what happened to him. He just kind of like flew off way too far, and backup has arrived his vehicle to pick him up. Ooh, Kepa getting knocked down onto the ground, and they will be able to find the kill on him as well. New gang will be able to strike first as they catch Epic in a small little compound. Modehouse, they won't be able to swim out of there very safely, and now all three players backing away behind that glue wall, and Fikayan with so much of pressure will be able to trap them in this small house. Now, New Gang, they just need to play this safe, because if they get over aggressive and fall into the traps of Epic, that's it. It's all over for now. They should be able to flank them, and at the very least force them to make a mistake first.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where you got the kill, you have an advantage. Can you take this team on 4 versus 3? You have that slight advantage, but as I say that, Fikwan seems to be the scout. He's going to just kind of peek out, make sure that everybody's there, while the rest of the team is very far away, which is a little worrying, because Fikwan, at any moment, he could get picked off.
Yeah, and it looks like a great strategy to split up instantaneously the moment they know that, this is probably going to be the end for them in this round already. And, worst case scenario, what are they going to do? Are they going to split up as well as they come and hunt down Forest? Are they going to actually make that mistake of just running after those two players who have already taken the zip line? Let's see if they actually fall for that, because at the very least, that final player from Epic can play for a few placement points as he tries to sneak around the map. Team Princess, on the other hand, with that one kill, they are all Gucci as they back away. Epic, MND Diehard, this is not a great place for them to find solace in.
Yeah, and Slayer right here, he just takes him out. A very easy kill there. It almost seems like he was untouched at this point. Slayer did the Matrix against all the other bullets that were coming his way. But Slayer, I mean, he's got that one kill, and he's just going to pop it. And Trixie just sticking around. I mean, the team is right in position. But what was that? Like, how they just found a straggler.
It's basically that Epic guy who ran away from Modehouse, took the zip line, landed directly in front of them, and he thought, oh, okay, fair enough, man. GG, you got me. Just shoot me now. Just shoot me.
Yeah, my bad. I need to stick with my team. I need to figure things out. But Epic, they're already down 2. The only 2 deaths have been Coco and Kepa right here, so it's a little unfortunate for Epic. They're going to have to probably play survival and just stay away from everybody else, but they're kind of in the middle. They do need to be careful, and they're making their way to the southern circle because they need to get into that. But I think it's going to be very difficult for Epic to get back into this game.
But we see exactly how effective Epic's strategy was, right? Because if they didn't split up, if they didn't take 2 different zip lines, if they had all just, just gone 1-2 juice, picked the wrong zip line, all 3 of them would have just said bye-bye out of this lobby. But then, this tragedy just seems to hit Epic back to back to back, and they get shot in the back as well. Asian out of the competition. Siga finds solace in a watchtower. My friend, you're going to find nothing in this watchtower. The guy has got no gun as well. Siga, just give it up. Oh, he does have a gun. I don't know if he can shoot back.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have any bullets, because at this point, even his teddy bear is like, come on, man, I think we're screwed. What do we do? Let's just hide here. As I say that, Tua does get the kill here, and he does. Team Princess is looking to be the new kill leader here, and EWG is trying to get the jump on him. Tua not able to find a beat on anybody, unfortunately.
Gets knocked down, and 2 more players still alive and kicking here, but from the top, Monito now shut down, and Team Princess Alpha just making this look way too easy. Now, I have got a little bit of pity for EWG. They did not expect that encounter, and Team Princess got the jump on them, but, it is just how things break down, but they had to sacrifice Ijatsa in this encounter as well, so Team Princess not really winning big, but 5 kill points early in the competition. If you can keep your head down, get all the way into that final zone, that's quite well worth the sacrifice.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, Team Princess, yeah, you lost one. This is one of those moments where, hey, you got your kills. Now you can go super survivor mode, right? You just go defensive,
Yeah.
just bunker down. You don't need to take any more risks. You've got the kills that you need. So now you can just kind of play it safe. But as I say that, D4R, they've got 0 kills. Same situation with only 3 members on their team. They probably need to find something. But it's starting to get to that moment where the circles are starting to get a little tighter, a little closer. It's going to be a little bit harder here. But yeah, MND just trying to find something. All the teams right now seem a little bit scattered throughout the map.
I'm surprised that MND actually managed to find one stray kill here. Slayer with that one slay. Good job, as they initially just tried to avoid all of those engagements, and it looks like that one kill is going to go quite far from MND for MND Daya, because overall in the competition, the guys have only managed to pick up 4 kills. So it's definitely going to push them, up the leaderboard just a tiny little bit, and it's going to be boosting their confidence a little bit as well, as they've been shying away from these engagements a little too much, if you ask me. This, if this is your weak point, if this is something that you most definitely have been struggling with, what's the worst case scenario, right? Just get into a few more gunfights, just get into a few more battles and see if or not you can hold it up against some of these players. If not, then you double back into plan B and just play for survival first. And as I say that, Team Princess playing the game of survival, just sticking to the edges of the island, not really moving in towards the center of the circle just yet, because they know they can play that time on.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw Exigo at the top, all the way from Epic. He's the last member, and it looks like he's just going to sacrifice him to the circle, or be very, very far out. He might get picked off in the end, but he's playing it super careful. He doesn't want to give anything up. I think at the end of the day, he might just sacrifice it himself if he sees anybody, because he knows that he's just a free frag at this point. But everybody else, you saw Icon before with 0 kills. They're playing on the edge of the southernmost circle. They're trying to find out, any sort of pick off, any sort of strays that they can find, especially since the fact that there's still 11 teams. That is pretty massive as we're making our way to the 10-minute mark.
Oh, absolutely, man. And Duo Barade now will have an opportunity to meet Metrics once again. Let's see if Mocha will be their worst nightmare as Duo Barade. They were the ones, I believe, who got into a massive fight with Metrics up there on Refinery earlier at Kalahari, and now the perfect revenge will be to shut down Mocha first, because if the guy is alive and kicking, it's probably going to be a very slim chance that Duo Barade is going to be able to take over the situation. But now, as we talk about them, MND Diehard making that beeline straight for the backs of Duo Barade, they might just be that third party that they were not expecting.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing is that this circle is starting to hone in, and you're going to have, the circle moves a little bit, and now the people that are all the way in the golf course, Brasilia, are going to have a struggle as they need to make their way towards the next one. I think the circle after this one is going to be fireworks, considering the fact that there's a river, and some teams are going to be completely screwed being on the wrong side of that river. So we might see some swimmers in action. We're going to have to find out. I hope you got your swim trunks, because we're going to have some swim in action coming up.
Well, I don't know if MND spotted Duo Barade just yet, but without even thinking, they've managed to pull a flank situation onto Duo Barade. Are they going to go in for the attack? Yes, they will. Miles taking this opportunity just to close the distance in a little bit. Atong will have that information. Here comes Rush with that nade as well. Crown 86 just cooking it up. Duo Barade not attacking, and they do not know Atong is just right on top. He will be able to shove them from the back. Time turner pulled out by both those players, and Crown 86 not pulling out his glue wall. Atong does not take advantage. He pulls out his own glue wall to protect himself, but nobody was shooting at him just yet. It's just pure chaos as they all lose their minds.
Yeah, Atong actually drew a beat on him. He had the right amount of shots, but all of a sudden, mid-clip, he actually put up his own glue wall and he blocked his own shots. And he could have gotten a free kill on that one. Unfortunately, that is, not able to get any kills here. As I say that, Trixie does get knocked and does get killed. He's completely caught out by himself against 2B.
Miles now, opportunity as he repositions himself. 2 players from the opposing team going in here for a chase. Duo Barade, Crown 86, a 2 versus 1. Atong now still backs away, not really wanting to be a part of a lot of these gunfights. The one that he initially started, and now as he runs away, he gets knocked from the back. Rish will be able to take that kill. Duo Barade makes easy work of MND Diehard, and I believe MND did help them out as well. But now here comes New Gang as they take this opportunity to be the third parties to pick up the fallen pieces. And now Duo Barade getting shut down one after the other. Rish as well as Guys are down onto the ground. New Gang most definitely the big winners. But as all of these chaos is ensuing, here comes Metrics as well, Holler.
Yeah, everybody heard it. They know what's going on. Third party, fourth party. We're just going to have a party up in this building because everybody's here. Newgate gets the jump on it. Does end up almost eliminating 2B. They were down to the last one. But Newgate has got 4 kills. That was a fortuitous ambush by them. They did a great job. They've got the building now. But hey, everybody's heard. This is where the action's at, and it looks like Metrics have found a beat on them, and Mocha is looking to snipe somebody. This is a sniper. You got to be super careful going up against Mocha here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And a great time turner pulled out in the nick of time, and they do not lose anybody. New Gang now knows exactly what's happening. Safe Zone's going to be forcing them in. But New Gang, they are going to go out there for the long flank and using the terrain to their advantage. And yes, the Safe Zone's going to be forcing them in. But oh my lord, Mocha actually shut down Asif. What amazing craziness by this player. And Mocha now strikes once again. The backup from Troop as well as Ribbon on the other side. And there's just no getting away from Metrics as New Gang drop. They fall one after the other.
Yeah, but the circle is starting to close in. Ray's looking to go in. They're outside of the circle. It does end up getting the kill. Newgate eliminated 10th. A really nice play by Rai there as he gets the ambush on him. But Team Princess right here trying to get some pickoff. They're down to 2. Jimmy Neal's been knocked. Glue walls are going to go up. Try to just keep themselves alive, at least for now. But he's going to heal. Alpha XR does get knocked by Zero of all people.
Unfortunately, AKO, they just had the zone and the guy just had his feet planted steady in the ground. And now AKO outside, they want to sneak in. Team Princess right in front of them, outnumbering them. They should be able to overcome the situation easily. AKO just flirting with the edge of the safe zone now as they recover all of their own health. Team Princess using this opportunity to back away, but it's just open fields from here as well as the next compound. So Team Princess, they just need to be really careful with this movement. They've used the best of their ability to take that extra time being given by AKO to reposition themselves, and at the very same time, just like Epic, the first thing they do is they split up, because the worst thing that could happen is for both of them to be caught in the exact same spot and the team just makes it out. Now they're just playing purely for placement points.
Secret Expert, we've seen this time and time again, even in the last game. These guys have been, they've been staying away from the fights. They've gotten almost 0 kills almost throughout the entire day. I think very few, maybe 1 or 2, if anything. But they haven't really lived up to the top 5 team that I thought we were going to see, where, the Blacklist International Geek Fam type, where we're seeing some kills, and we're not seeing that. There tend to be more about, hey, let's just survive, just look for the pickoffs. And it seems to be a little bit more of the cheeky kills more than anything else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, the team of Secret Expert, although they did try hard quite recently, it was a situation where they got just easily overwhelmed with the kills, and they just started focusing purely on those placement points, right? In fact, Secret Expert's the one with the most placement points in the competition so far. That's exactly how good they are with surviving. But the guys need to find a few more of those kills, and now they have got the perfect opportunity because Devora is right there behind them. And Devora has been a team that has been struggling in the competition so far. Definitely one that Secret Expert can take down, and the safe zone's helping them out as well. Fahaji with the snipes from afar and a double glue wall right in front of them. No nades in the hands of Fahaji, so he just has to wait. But he takes initiative and he goes in there for the push. I hope that is not the wrong decision by him. Fahaji now with that backup as well. But all of those players, Ajimbu will be knocked down by Icon off screen, and a Secret Expert now, they will try to back away as things get turned on them.
Oh, we got the kill. Nas just looking to turn it up. His team wasn't really sure if they were going to commit for this one, but Secret, Expert are going in for this. They're going ham. They're trying to get the kills, and they're like, hey, we're not all about the placement points. We can get some kills too. As I say that, Devourer does get eliminated here, and Expert does become your kill leader because of that. But hey, you said that these guys are a bunch of survivors. They're a bunch of Boy Scouts, but they can kill. They are killers at the end of the day, and they've done that, and they've got 3 kills to their name.
That's terrible communication, though. I mean, they could have waited, man. I mean, the communication with Pak Haji, the guy he backed away from that fight. He was reloading, and then there was a rush from their LMG player who's supposed to actually be holding the back lines and, just suppressive fire to make sure his team members can survive. And everybody just got their roles kind of mixed up in there, and overall, they kind of lost 2 players, although they did manage to shut down Devora. So, kind of losing too many, and hopefully that doesn't really affect them negatively as they try to squeeze squeeze into the second final last safe zone here. Hero taking the fight up against AKO. Off-screen Metrics against Hero, shutting them down one after the other. AKO says bye-bye to all of us, and Metrics still alive and kicking as they will be able to win their gunshots from across this river. Icon now putting on so much of pressure onto Secret Expert, and they'll just have one final player left for this play.
But look at where the circle is. It's almost right on the river. Yes, there's a little bit of shoreline on both sides, but you're completely wide out in the open. Who has the utility? Who has the glue walls to keep themselves alive? Metrics, on the other hand, look at this guy. Troop with 4 kills to his name, and they're just sniping people from afar, making sure that they've got that. But Icon, this is another top 3 team. They got the Booyah last time, and they're in prime position as well. This is going to be a firefight all the way to the end.
Oh! Mocha just putting on so much of pressure. Shuts down, man, from the side of Icon. This guy's an absolute insane player. Mocha now, look at them. They should buy the safe zone. Mio will be able to knock down Troop. Are they going to be able to pick him up? No, they sacrifice him. They are just going in here for the victory, and they need to shut down Taken as well if they want to stand a chance in here at the very edge of that shore. And the players from Team Icon with so much of pressure, not allowing Metrics to step up front, and they just absolutely ignoring the players from Secret Expert. Metrics is their target. They know exactly who that is. 3 players still playing survival. Yes, the guy did manage to get picked up. Mocha now pops out that nade. Metrics shut down with the grenade launcher holler.
And you can see Taken was like, just, I'll take that one, because at the end of the day, they ended up surviving because Metrics just took so much of the action. But Icon with back-to-back booyahs? Who is this team? Where's this team been throughout the entire league? I mean, this is just insane by Icon. Flame, Man, Mios, New Boys, Yun, really turning it up today.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yes, last week they managed to pick up 1 MVP title for themselves. Most definitely, the second MVP title goes to Team Icon in here. The biggest question is which player managed to contribute the most to their back-to-back booyah. Earlier on, they managed to pick up 19 points for them overall, and I believe they might have been able to outdo themselves in this round, Holler.
Yeah, I think they did. They got a ton of kills at the very end. But the thing is that they were so focused on Metrics. I mean, that was the right play, and it really paid off. But the fact that, you know, they were not deterred. They realized that, you know, Taken was by himself all the way on the side. He wasn't going to do anything. And so it was just like all guns. Everybody focused fire. Communication was great. And I love the fact that this is a team that you could see that they were like, hey, we had a week to get from, you know, day 2 to day 3, and we had a lot of practice in. We figured out our strategies, and it's really paying off for Icon.
Absolutely, man. And it's the patience, right? It's the patience and also the knowledge of the game to know exactly where your grenade launcher has got that reach for. And he just waited. They knew that the victory was already for themselves, but they just had to be really careful to not get sniped down by Mocha once again. And they just continued that pressure. And this time, I think this is exactly where some of these players can learn the use of that LMG. Suppressive fire, man. LMG continuous, power shots against all of those blue walls, forcing them to use up all of the utilities. And when they were just so focused on getting away from the safe zone and just playing all of the glue walls one after the other, it was the perfect position. They just set themselves up, 1 grenade launcher shot, finished all of them off at the very same time. Crazy stuff coming in here from Icon, man.
Yeah, very happy. I mean, this is one of those things where, you want to see some of the guys that, Icon was 14th place going into this one. And the fact that they were able to get 2 booyahs in a row, this puts them in prime position. This is great. And this is something that they really, really needed moving forward, on a day 3. But we're going to look at the highlights here. We just saw a lot of killing throughout. EWG here just turning it up, getting into a skirmish here with Team Princess and gets the jump on him. Completely catches them out. There was a lot of good skirmishes throughout. Really smart play by a lot of the teams today.
Absolutely. And of course, Metrics just kind of got involved in an encounter just a little bit later after that as well, as MND Diehard, New Gang, as well as Duo Barade kind of got into a tussle. It was Metrics, the ones who were kind of building up that momentum to be the ones who gate-kept the rest of them. And they played that really well, not over-aggressing. And it was New Gang that overcame all of this rest of this chaos, but even they could not survive against Metrics. It was just the food chain here where we just saw one team being devoured by the other, and then another, and then another. Overall, they kind of just split all of those kill points between themselves. really helping a team like Icon continue to climb up the leaderboards, whilst the rest of those, Apex Predators don't manage to pick up a lot of kills for themselves. And I think, what a lot of these other teams were doing really would have benefited Icon a lot.
Yeah, it really helped them out. And I think that one of the things that teams need to be aware of is they need to figure out where Icon is just playing in the beginning, right? Icon has been playing passive throughout, and they look at just taking advantage of the other teams. As I say this, look at this. Rank 1, of course, Icon, they got that booyah, 12 placement points, 9 kills, the most throughout, with 21 points as well. Metrics, second place, with 16. Secret Expert, they did very well as well. They got 12 points. They were second place here, just surviving with Taken. That's all you need to do at the end of the day. But 2 Baradek with 10 points, AKO Steady with 9, Team Princess 7, Hero 7, New Gank 5, Devourer 4, Epic 4 as well, Mind Diehard and EWG with 1 point, which is a little unfortunate because I expected big things out of EWG and they haven't been able to do it today.
It's just unfortunate, right? They can't really maintain the consistency they brought into game number 1, unlike Icon. They played those passive. Even in game number 1, it was Icon being passive and really finding those final kills in the final zone. And game number 2, Icon played passive once again, find those final kills in the final zone. This is the perfect strategy that all of these teams need to employ for themselves. I really love how Metrics is getting super aggressive in these rounds. I really like how they're rising up to the top and they're really sandbagging themselves, because this time they pick up 8 kills, 1 above the previous round, but they also manage those placement points for them. But they're not going to get this lucky all the time if they're just, guns blazing all the way through. But I guess I really like the fact that they were a little passive, although they wanted to gatekeep. They didn't rush into the third-party situation. They just waited in a very defensive position, and when they knew they could secure those kills, that's when they struck. And that's what gave them that ace placement points this time as well. So it's really nice to see these micro adjustments coming through from them match after match, Ola.
And, Kalahari, Purgatory, round 1 and 2, both of them taken by Icon Esports. The best thing about this is the fact that it was, yes, it's Group A versus Group B, but now we're going to see Group B versus Group C. Icon continue that momentum. You don't have that break where, you take a little bit of a break, you let the other teams play, and then you got to warm up again and get back into it, into the groove. But Icon, I'm sure, is going to be target number 1. Group C have been watching these games. They're going to figure out what's going on. And let's look at the overall standings to see exactly where Icon has risen. I'm thinking top 10.
Ooh, spot on, my friend.
They're 9.
Yeah. Just slide it on in there. Let's take this one from the bottom. MND Diehard in the 18th spot, followed by Hero in 17, New Gang 16th spot, Devourer in that 15th spot. Metrics, with all of that effort, all they could muster up was that 14th position for themselves. No Escape Umbrella in the 13th, Duo Barade in the 12th spot, Sorry Raw, as well as Freedom Rumble in the 11th, as well as 10th position. All
Yeah, and if we're looking at the 9 other teams, Icon is the 9th one with 81, Argon Malaysia with 88, AKO Steady with 92, Epic 93, as well as EWG, who just got a single point. This is very worrying for that team. Blacklist International with 104, Team Princess with 106. They haven't had the greatest day as well, which is, again, this is a team you need to look out for. Secret Expert with 110, Geek Fam 112, still at the top, even though they haven't played 2 games here. But we're going to expect to see a little bit more death and, killing and all of that coming from Geek Fam as we get into Group B versus C coming up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Team Princess didn't really do much for themselves in these particular rounds. Super passive in both of those rounds. They only managed to pick up 7 points for themselves. And this is where, that food chain structure kind of helps out teams like Geek Fam as well. They haven't even played yet. No matches for themselves just yet. Still the apex predators of the competition. When they step on in, all they need to do is just reassert their dominance in the competition, make sure teams like Icon do not manage to pick off those kills anymore. And for a fact they will be able to do that. And so the biggest question here is, Holla, how does Icon now manage the situation? Do they still continue keeping their heads down, or will their strategy just get tweaked a little bit and we see their aggression from the get-go instead, because they're not 100% confident with how they're going to be able to perform in those final zones? Because when you look at Group C, final zone gameplay is a different story, my friend.
Yeah, and I think it's if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? I think this is a team that's going to continue to do what they've done. The MVP on this one was Mocha. That's actually from Metrics with 7 kills, but he had 6 assists. He was knocking everybody down. 4,600 damage in one game with an 82% hit rate. Like, yo, like I don't know what kind of crosshair he's using, but he's hitting everything. This is something you got to be careful about. He's caffeinated. He's got the Mocha going. This is a guy you need to look out for.
And trigger discipline really plays a huge role here, right? And Mocha, every single time he's gone in there for those shots, you know for a fact the guy's going to be able to deliver. And although Metrics did not, wasn't really able to launch themselves up to that #1 spot, grab that booyah, in game number 2, they came super close, right? With the 8 kills, they still managed to grab, those placement points for themselves. And this most definitely is a very disappointing moment for Icon. They bagged 2 tremendous rounds and still their players get outshined by a player out of Metrics. But we have to say, Mocha just had the super plays in those first 2 rounds.
And Icon it's more of the team, right? It's kind of spread throughout. There's no superstar. There's no Michael Jordan on that team. There's everybody's contributing to it. So everybody is a killer, somebody you need to be careful about. So I like that. It's going to be a little bit more well balanced. Whereas Mocha and Metrics, it's kind of like everything is on this guy's shoulders. He needs to carry the burden. I mean, yes, there are a lot of other good players on that team, not to take anything away. This is still a team that you do need to be careful about. But, it's one of those moments where, when the Blacklist Internationals and the Geek Fams of the world are going at you and they happen to get lucky, maybe they take out your superstar like Mocha. What do? Who picks up the slack then?
Exactly, right? Because, sometimes we do see these players who are able to pick up some of these skills, just being the in-game leader for some of them as well. And it's just not the same when your in-game leader kind of gets knocked out of that lobby and he has to just look at the perspective of the rest of his team members from the outside view. It's just not the same as being able to call those shots from in that game itself, right? And Mocha's most definitely that sort of a guy. Losing him in a battle, Metrics, I know for a fact they will be struggling. And you brought out a great point, right? How will they manage situations like that? Because as Mocha looks for these shots, he definitely puts himself in a very risky position as well. As those snipers take those shots, they have to be out in the open. But that also kind of shines the spotlight onto Mocha as to his trigger discipline. He's constantly moving around in circles, not taking any shots, spots one perfect opportunity, goes in there for the hit, and the guy very rarely misses. And all of those hits very rarely not get those knockdowns.
I think you brought up the biggest thing is the fact that he's patient, right? How many people have the trigger discipline to just be like, I'm going to hit my shot when I know I have a good shot, right? For me, I would just be spamming it, right? I would just be shooting like crazy, and this is why I'm not a good player. But nonetheless, like Mocha has that. He has that ability, and that is something that, it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of practice and making sure that you're able to hit this. But, it's going to be coming into this one where it's going to be B versus C, right? Metrics, unfortunately, they're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to see them a little bit later, but we're going to go in with Icon. All the teams have seen what Icon have done. They see that they play a little possum, right? Like now, as some of the other teams in Group C, you're watching this. What do you do differently? Do you go after them? Do you kind of put them in their place early, or what are you looking to do? Maybe you go passive as well. What is your game plan, AJ?
It has to be passive, right? And something like this, we have to look back at a team like Team Epic, who made that micro adjustment in their gameplay. The moment they got one player taken out of their squad already, they split up, and it was a great decision because at the other end of the zip line, there was MND Diehard, and lucky for them, they had 2 players still surviving, and through those passive gameplays of just pure survival, they still managed to scrape up 4 points for themselves in round number 2, right? And, that's exactly what teams like this can perhaps depend on. Like MND Diehard, they're going out there, they're hunting for those skills, but they're just really not doing themselves any favors whatsoever because those engagements aren't super solid, man. So maybe they want to just find a little bit of the momentum from, the happiness of rising up the leaderboards with a few extra points first through the placements, and then try to take those risky maneuvers through those fights. And that might just put them in a much better situation.
Yeah. And it's risk versus reward, right? It's just making sure that you're able to hit it. But, at some point, you've got a great team and your team can hit shots. You know that you can do that. You want to be, most fights I would say are 50-50. But in the case that if you've got, you know, the sniper, you've got somebody who can cover you and play things, you know, cover your back, so to speak, that those numbers can change a little bit, right? Maybe you got a 60-40 if you're super lucky. So you just need to ensure that you're playing the percentages. You need to ensure that what is a good, you know, a good attack, what is a good approach, what do we need to do? We need to think about all these things and making sure that this is why practicing is very important. But we're going to go into B versus C. The next one is going to be Kalahari. I'm looking forward to this one. What are your thoughts on this game, AJ?
As long as Atong does not pull out the glue wall halfway through as he's about to kill someone, I'm good, man.
It was a misclick.
Kalahari, this is the opportunity for us to see exactly how tuned up Group C is for day number 3. Argon MY, Blacklist International, Freedom Rumble, Geek Fam, No Escape Umbrella, as well as Sorry Raw. They join the fray, whilst Dua Barade, Epic, EWG, Hero, Metrics, as well as Team Princess, they take a short break. They'll be joining us back for games 5 as well as 6. And in Kalahari, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, each and every single compound, the elevation is exactly what throws some of these players off, because it's up to the creativity of their opponents how they want to use the elevation of this map to their advantage.
It's very important. And again, I think you stated it earlier about the fact that, yeah, you get a little bit vulnerable. People can see you as well. It's not like you're completely hidden. But the thing is that you do provide cover. You know, depending on where the enemy is, if they're on the low ground, you have that advantage. And that can really help. Plus the fact that you can be eagle-eyed. You can see things across. You have great vision. But at the same time, other players can have that vision as well, considering the fact that there are a lot of elevated areas. Something to take note of as we get into Kalahari match number 3.
Yeah, and you know, Free Fire just has a very interesting game mechanic where it is easier to look down, but it's easier to take the headshot on your opponent if you are on that lower ground, because just the head sticks out and the crosshair just lights up when you spot that head. And that's why most of the times when these players just are holding on to those high grounds, it's just really, really important for them to continuously just move around in a circle. Because like what you just said, Holler, you're trying to shoot people, they're trying to shoot you back at the same time as well. And New Gang, as they back away from Team Icon, they don't want to shoot back. They just want to survive for a time being. They want to continue looking for some loot here. Icon's just not having any of it. They try to play aggressive, but it's just more of warning shots. Please get out of our compound, as we would like to loot up as well.
Yeah, this is our ground. Make sure that, you know, it's just like, I would say, you know, how dogs kind of mark their territory. It's the same idea. It's not very threatening. No real chance of dying, I would think. But this is one of those moments where it's going to happen, where you make sure that you have that space. The fact that you can, you know, basically loot at will, you can figure things out, you can do it in a safe spot, and then you're not forced to kind of rush things or to, you know, to get into a bad fight without the weapon that you really need. And that's like the biggest thing, is making sure that you're prepared for the long run, right? You've got the utility, you've got the glue walls, you've got the grenades. Those are all going to really help you in the end game. But New Gang here, they're just finding a pretty decent spot. I think that was a Lambo there. He's getting some decent shots, but Icon, Yun, from the high ground, sees all of New Gang, trying to draw a bead. Doesn't actually get any damage, though, because the cover's on point, especially with the glue walls there. But Yun, he's got a great sniper spot. He's not able to find any... Oh, he gets a little bit of damage, but that's pretty much it. But no real kills, which is unfortunate for them. But as I say that, Man does get knocked, does need to be careful. I think he's looking to pick him up. Mios is there, just hiding behind that cracking glue wall.
Let's see if New Gang will be able to shut them down, as Icon comes in here, rushing them, looking for a couple of kills, and a couple of nades into this compound would be perfect. But the problem is Icon hasn't really completed their looting process. They don't really have a lot of these, you know, tacticals on them, and they just trying to play super aggressive. Hopefully they don't get caught out, because Flame is just way too far from the rest of the other players. And if he gets knocked down now, there's just no picking this guy up at all.
But Flame is all by himself. I don't know if his team got the memo, but he's being aggressive. I don't think this is a fight he wants to take on 1v4. As I say that, he does have some back, you know, some cover fire coming in. So he's just looking to scout around, but they're right across on the other side of the wall. They hear the footsteps. Flame, does he go aggressive? They've got the grenade. Just kind of, that was actually nicely timed with Flame's aggression.
Yeah, super well timed. And they know that the players of New Gang cannot get out of here. And the problem is New Gang, they don't even have those medkits on them. So healing up is just an absolute no-no, and they all get shut down way too easily by Icon, who plays the games of smarts. They chase them out of the compound first. They know they have got 0 loots on them, so no recovery available, and Icon, this big brain win there. And now Devora, as we switch on over, Secret Expert trying to shut them down. They do have got the higher elevation here in terms of this compound. But the players of Devora, they have got a place to hide away from. And now those grenades come flying in one after the other. But it's just a matter of time before they run out. Still too early for the team to have been super stacked on those nades.
Yeah, it's still too early at the moment. But hey, Icon, like they're turning it up, right? They went against Newgate.
Yeah.
They got the 4 kills. They spread it throughout. Every single player on that team got a kill. So hey, Icon, we talked about the fact that they were going to play passive. They decided to say, hey, we're going to take this kill. We know that we can find this team. We can wipe them out. Really nicely played there. So they're in a prime position already. Secret Expert, on the other hand, they're looking for Devour right here. But are they going to be able to find anything? And it looks like Na is going to be the first man in, but all he's got right now is a butcher knife. Okay, he turns it around, goes to the high ground. He's on top of the roof, and nice utility there, at least from this the tool belt that he's got here.
Yeah, let's see if or not he will be able to shut down Cyber right below him. Another member of his team just playing camouflage up there on the roof just to make sure he doesn't get sniped off. Nga repositions himself down at the bottom this time round. He could have stepped into that second floor, but just taking precautions. You never know exactly what could be awaiting you. Perhaps a trip mine, perhaps a player with a shotgun. And Nga just does not want to take those aggressive maneuvers. And I really like that. I respect that. And Secret Expert, although they do have the mechanical capabilities to take this fight up against any teams, they still play that safe game, right? And going back a little bit to Icon as well, and this is something that Secret Expert has kind of shown us a similar trait that they have with Icon. Decision making always solid by these teams.
Agreed. And that's the thing, right? About top teams is that you have good decision making. You have a good play caller. You figure out, the way things are supposed to be played, and they've been very. They take the nice attacks or the nice risk versus reward type of things when they need to, right? They know they play the probabilities, I would say. But as I say, that Secret Expert, Inbu is trying to get the kill, and he does get the knock, which is a nice play because considering he's got the shotgun, he's going to heal himself up on the high ground. Na does get knocked out himself. This is going to be a little bit careful here. Ash is looking to just fight as well, but Secret Expert, are they able to do this? And they do get the kill here, and that's just going to be a matter of time. Secret Expert in a nice spot here.
Now taken shut down by Jimmy Quez as well. And it looks like Devora, they strike back. But that was a great opener by Nga. And, it was just a little unfortunate that all he managed to get was a knock. But the follow-up on that knock, he pulled out the glue wall and he cut off that access. Devora couldn't really run away from that situation. They couldn't go upstairs anymore. And what the rest of the players from Secret Expert needed to do was just come in there for that push and just spray all of them. It went well, except that those response fires were there. Nga as well as taken out of the situation, and overall it's just been a terrible fight for both of these teams, as the losses just have been way too many early on in the match.
Agreed. I think that's the biggest thing. The fact that Secret Expert are down to just 2 players right now. They've got 3 kills to their name. They need to be careful here. Nice grenade there. Did a little bit of damage, but Devour, Jimenez is kind of Jimqueez, excuse me. He's by himself. He's just looking to survive here. Doesn't need to be a little bit careful. They do not want to get eliminated 11th. I think it's kind of a race to the bottom right now with Secret Expert and Devour just lock an arm, so to speak, and just kind of getting in those skirmishes.
Icon has got a great position here, and they have got the elevated angle as well onto the players of AKO, but I don't think AKO is going to be running straight towards them unless they don't want to take a straightforward approach directly into the safe zone. They try to flank around from the side. That just might be the worst decision that they can make. Obviously, that would technically be the safer decision, one would think. But with Icon right in front, as they are looking for all of these early kills, as they've decided to take that aggressive path, they might be able to shut down the players of AKO prematurely. So let's see if that encounter will happen. Secret Expert, on the other hand, still trying to shut down Devora. I mean, what's done is done. They've already wasted the 2 players. Might as well take the full squad. And a great turn around the corner by Ibnu. And the shotgun as powerful as ever.
That was a story of revenge, right? The fact that Secret Expert and Devour have been fighting all throughout. They lost two of their members, Na, and it was just like one of those things where we need to get this guy. We need to clean this up. Clean up in aisle 2 or whatever, and they ended up getting the kill there, which is really important for them because they need to secure all those kills, especially since the fact that it was they're down to 2 members and that was the last member. So they did have an advantage as well, but now they know that they're in a bad spot. They need to ensure that they play even safer here. But let's talk more about the other teams that we haven't really seen too much. Freedom Rumble as well. This is one of those other teams. What are you thinking about this one? Is Boybird able to do anything at this point?
Well, let's see if or not they will be able to. Sorry, Rob backs away. Here comes No Escape Umbrella. The nades being cooked up by 2 of these players from the part of Sorry Raw. Donkey will be able to cook it up, but Roy Bro gets knocked down onto the ground. They need to save him, but no, Roy Bro gets shut down way too prematurely. And No Escape Umbrella, all of a sudden, they have got the advantage, although they are being forced to the back. Nade after nade comes through from the part of Sorry Raw. Donkey now holding on to an angle, will be able to spray down No Bills. Cannot take the kill just yet. Here comes Cass for the backup, but Cass gets sprayed down as well by the one and only Donkey. Error comes through. One guy from the top. iPens now going in for the shot, but it's a 2-on-1 situation. Imira with the backup, and it just looks like No Escape Umbrella will not be able to escape Sorry Raw.
Wow, Donkey there playing a little bit of Hodor there, just holding the door, just making sure that anybody who passes just gets immediately shut down. Very well played there. Very smart play. I think that was the biggest thing. They were flushing him out from the other angle. They understood what they had to have done. But Sorry Roar playing very smart right there and showing just how this team can really just pick it up because they're in 8th place. This is a team that you need to be careful about, and you can't sleep on this team because they're in a prime position right now.
It's just a little unfortunate that they lost Roy Bro on that second floor as the guy just went in a little bit too early, mistimed that jump, and got sprayed down. And there was just no backup whatsoever from his team members, right? As they had to deal with their own fights as well. But thankfully, Donkey had the backs of the rest of his team members, man. And Argon MY now sneaking into the next zone, and they will be the first ones at Santa Catarina. But I don't know if that's a great thing because here comes Geek Fam as well, right in front of them, one of the apex predators of the competition. In fact, the ones that have been able to maintain their #1 spot without playing the past 2 games.
Yeah, we haven't called them out too much, at least today, but we're going to see them, especially since there's 9 teams left, and the times are starting to tick, right? In the sense that it's the 12-minute mark, the circle is getting very, very close, and it's going to be one of those last-minute scrambles, I would think. And Argon Malaysia, I love this team, but they've got 0 kills. They haven't really found anything. If anything, they've been kind of running away from firefights more than anything else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, they just want to play the safer side. They don't really want to get into these engagements because you don't know, man. Group C, bro. Group C, the group of death. You never know who you're going to get, end up shooting and who's going to be responding from the other end. The last thing that you want is to tickle the players of Geek Fam or Blacklist International and get shut down way too early. MND Diehard, they tickle the players of Freedom Rumble. Even Freedom Rumble's too much to handle. MND Diehard getting shut down one after the other. Vegeta taking Strixie out of the equation. But they have to be careful as well because on the other side is Blacklist International and a player from Sorry Raw just zooming in with the sports car sprayed down. Oh my lord, how in the world is Too Fast getting those shots? What?
Oh, he's doing some damage. Donkey actually has been knocked. Look at these pickoffs, Xbot, just the shots that they've been shooting. My gosh, Freedom Rumble completely. It doesn't matter if you're in a vehicle, how fast you're going. At the end of the day, you're not following the speed limit. But it looks like Freedom Rumble are looking to skirmish. They found Blacklist International. They're right next door. And they end up just getting a nice little shotgun kill there. And Geek Fam is getting some shots as well. Blacklist International eliminated in 9th. Is this a massive upset or what?
I wouldn't count them out just yet because those boys know exactly how to rise back up when you least expect them to. And of course, Geek Fam, the one and only Arcade with 1 kill in here so far, just gatekeeping the rest of those players from the side of AKO who are very far outside of the zone. AKO, on the other hand, have to deal with Icon who are fighting them off before they want to make their way into the next safe zone. And they only have 1 more second to do this because here comes that pressure now. And the zone pushing in from the back. AKO with the pressure from the left. Are they going to focus on each other or are they going to get in here to safety? Because if they spend way too much of time in here, Hauler, it's going to be a GG for both these squads.
Yeah, it's going to be super tough there. Icon, actually, they lost one member already, and it looks like AKO are looking to just fight this. But the circle closing in. This is starting to kind of, it's going to start doing a little bit of damage. Flame is all by himself. He's solo. Mr. 0769 is looking for him. He's trying to find a round, but the play zone is already eliminated Zero. Icon does get eliminated in 7th. This is unfortunate for them, especially since they just got 2 booyahs in a row.
Yeah, both these teams, man, just wasting too much of time outside the safe zone. You know, poor decision making coming through. The best they could have done for themselves at that point was just run into the safe zone, just pull out those glue walls, waste it, because survival's better than playing a game where you're just not going to be able to get much out of those encounters, because those steals are most definitely going to come in from the players inside of the zone. Arctic down on the ground, no one's picking him up just yet. Sorry, Raw makes their exit thanks to Clowns from the side of Freedom Rumble. Exact with a knock onto Afik, and Chill right in front of them as well. 2 snipers trying to knock Chill down, and a good glue wall being pulled up. Spark comes in here for that backup as well. Even if Chill gets knocked down, he will get picked right back up, so we can expect to see Argon MY in the next zone. But from behind Geek Fam now, Freedom Rumble, great nade by Too Fast.
Well, that was so on point. Geek Fam, though, they're kind of in a bad spot. You know, there are people all over the place. They do need to get in this circle. Argon Malaysia have made their way in. They've planted their flag. They realize that this is going to be the end fight with 4 teams left. Argon Malaysia are in a great spot here. Geek Fam need to just rush in, try to get what they can. They get eliminated in 4th.
Ooh, Geek Fam shut down, and now Freedom Rumble making their way in. But unfortunately, the shots as well as the safe zone just putting on way too much of pressure. Vegeta, the final player left in here, Argon MY with the numbers, and they will be able to overcome the situation way too easily. And it looks like we already know exactly who's going to be the winners of this round. And Freedom Rumble with the one and only Vegeta, he backs away, tries to heal himself up first. How many kills will he be able to get before he's taken out? Absolutely 0. What a Kobe from Spark, as they will be able to nail the booyah for themselves. Argon MY puts themselves back up on the map.
I knew it. I love this team. This is a team that's been on the rise. Chill, Spark, Arabic, Hydro, Afix. This is a team that we've been seeing time and time again. So much growth. These guys have just gotten better and better and better. And I love the fact that they got the booyah here. This is a pretty massive one. But Freedom Rumble, this is one of those ones where I think they had about 10 kills. That's insane by Freedom Rumble.
Yes, hashtag Jerung Biru, amen. Argon MY, dominant players out there, and it looks like those strategies most definitely paid a lot of dividend for them. And look, here's the thing. Initially today, they were the team that held on to the title of those who picked up the most number of booyahs, and we did see Icon kind of equalizing them and then overtaking. But Argon MY right back in here for the race. 4 booyahs equalizing Icon once again. But in terms of how well both these teams, as a matter of fact, have been doing in the competition so far, not that too great. I mean, the last time we checked in on Argon MY, they were in the 8th slot, and Icon just 1 spot below them in that 9th position. They've just been playing a little too passive, but it's just now that we see these players getting activated.
Yeah. And you got to turn it up, right? The other teams are starting to show up. They're getting a bunch of kills. Yeah. Icon, this is a team that, hey, nobody really had any eyes on, and all of a sudden they're in top 9 already, and they're just going to get more, especially with all the kills they got. This is something you need to be careful. But Freedom Rumble, very impressed with their performance. But Argon Malaysia, this is the team that I love, and I love to see them on top. This is a team that you need to be careful. You need to put some respect on this name.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And respect to Freedom Rumble as well. I mean, it's a huge thing to get the better of Geek Fam. And granted, Geek Fam, they were focusing in on trying to shut down the plays from across against Argon MY first. And as they were focused on shooting down Argon MY, it was the nade that was opened up by Too Fast first from the side of Freedom Rumble that kind of distracted Geek Fam, right? And as they were trying to go in there for the pickup, more nades came flying in from Too Fast, and it was just such a small compound. And Geek Fam, they had absolutely nowhere else to go. I mean, if you jump out of that house, it's just Argon MY right in front, and you were already shooting at them just moments ago. So they had to take that fight, and Freedom Rumble with those shotguns just overran that compound way too quickly, way too easily. But it was that fight that kind of kept them a little too busy, and it was the pressure of that safe zone that caught up with them overall, which gave Argon MY the biggest of advantages towards the final end. And, as to how Icon picked up that luck and ran with it, Argon MY, they played that luck as well.
Yeah, and let's go into the highlights to see just a little bit of a breakdown of how things kind of just played out in terms of, Argon Malaysia's booyah there. But, it started strong.
Yeah.
Icon, this is one of those moments where they found new gank. It completely caught him off guard. Icon with 4 straight kills just completely wiped them off. And then it was a little bit of skirmishes here and there, but there weren't really teams that were being super aggressive. We saw just kind of some fights just kind of in and out. This is the one where Secret Expert lost 2 members. This was a costly fight as they clashed with Devourer here, but they do end up wiping them in the end, but at what cost? The Secret Expert here really suffered on that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Ibnu was most definitely the biggest, contributor from that matchup, as he played such a clean game up top on the second floor and then came back in there for the backup down at the bottom as well. Donkey, the biggest contributor for the part of Sorry Raw, as they took on No Escape Umbrella, really with the masterful plays, right? Decision making, split second turns, left to right. He just prioritized exactly which player to focus all of his shots on. And he didn't focus on getting those kills, purely those knocks, because he knows exactly what's important in those situations.
But, I think the biggest thing for me was Freedom Rumble. Yeah, Argon Malaysia got the booyah, but, Freedom Rumble, we're going to see some kills. I think they had a minimum, 10 at this point. Yeah, okay, they just ended with 10. So that is a monster game by Freedom Rumble. They tied Argon Malaysia.
That's so unfortunate, isn't it? Freedom Rumble, they did so much, but it's just that extra 3 points that you get from the privilege of having that booyah on your end. Argon MY, great stuff coming through from them, ladies, German boys, girls. 19 points overall, and like you heard, Freedom Rumble equalizing 19 points as well in that second spot. Secret Expert doing great this time round with the ratio of kills to the placement points, 15 points overall in the third spot, followed by Sorry Raw as well as Geek Fam and Icon in the 4th, 5th as well as 6th position. And the rest of the table, of course, you've got AKO, Steady Squad, MNE Diehard, Devora, No Escape Umbrella, Blacklist International, as well as New Gang at the very bottom. And like you said, man, a little unfortunate, premature for Blacklist International to get taken out so early, but it's just Blacklist International. They don't shine all the time.
This is nothing new, right? Blacklist International, we saw this even in MCP Season 2. They have some bad games, right? But they know how to pick themselves up again. It's just one of those moments where, they need to warm up a little bit. They're kind of slow to get going, but we'll see Blacklist International hopefully at the top, the top side, or the top 6, I would say, moving forward into the other games. This is not a team you want to sleep on, because we're going to see a lot more of Blacklist International.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And them on the leaderboards will show exactly how much more we'll see of them, because in terms of the placement points as well as the kill points, they most definitely are one of those dominant Apex predators out there on the battlefield, and they don't need to perform game after game after game to still be in that top 5. Unlike Argon MY as well as Icon, where you see them picking up so many of these booyahs for themselves, and yet they are in the 8th and 9th position. That's exactly how crazy Group C is. That's exactly how crazy all of these teams are, because look at who's up, right? Geek Fam, Secret Expert, Blacklist International, all these teams from Group C, they're just dominating the top of the leaderboards without focusing on the booyahs at all. And that must most definitely be intimidating, Ola.
Yeah, definitely intimidating. I mean, it's one of those things where you got to respect him. The fact that they're getting all these booyahs, it's going to be a little difficult. But to toot a little bit more horn, let's go back to Icon, at least for me, right? The fact that they got 2 booyahs, they 2 booyahs, 19 points apiece. And they got 8 points in that last one. I mean, they only had 9 points in all of day 2 last week. Yeah. Right. So this is a team that has done leaps and bounds so much better. I'm so proud of this team as they're going to move forward. But we're going to take a little bit of a break before we can go to the final match of Group B versus C. My name is Holler. This is AJ. We'll be right back.
White team, blue team, 2 minutes. To balloon to life.
Yeah, okay.
Take your time. Let's go.
Welcome to the new age! Booyah!
Let's go for it.
Menang belanja kereta.
Hello and welcome back to the Free Fire Challengers Malaysia. My name is Holland. With me is AJ, and we've seen Icon with 2 booyahs, Argon Malaysia with just 1 booyah. But which of the other teams really need to pick up the slack going into this 4th match, AJ?
Quite honestly, Icon. They've performed 2 back-to-back rounds, and then the 3rd round, they kind of slacked off just a little bit, and this is their final opportunity because, I mean, you cannot waste the momentum that you've built for yourself. Like you mentioned, on day number 2, they barely picked up some of these points here to rise up the leaderboards, and on a day where you're really hitting your strides, you just need to find that momentum in yourself. But we kind of understand, right? Because earlier on, we were discussing this. When Icon goes up against Group C, it's going to be a totally different ball game, especially when it gets into the final zone gameplay.
All right, for the record, I feel like you're kind of being like an Asian dad here, okay? The fact that this is a team that already had 2 booyahs, they got 8 points in the last one. I mean, they only scored 9 points in day 2, and this isn't good enough? Come on, AJ. At the end of the day, this is a team that's really doing well. Let's just be complimentary and just pat them on the back, all right? They've done well already.
I can't change my roots, brother. I am Asian after all. But, you know, jokes aside, I really would like to see them kind of break that Argon MY stride, because Argon MY is kind of trying to outdo them as well in terms of the Booyah department, right? So, and we all know that Icon prior to this, they weren't really able to sustain their fights with those skills. And out of nowhere, these guys are so mechanically gifted all of a sudden in the competition. You shouldn't be wasting it, because we've seen this kind of trend one too many times in Free Fire, where a team is they just have that one on day where they're just going all out, guns blazing, and then they kind of just flatten out. And that's something that I definitely do not want to see for them, right? But, you know, on the other hand, Metrics is definitely a team that we can expect a little bit more out of later on as well, right? But in terms of Group B, it's purely Icon for me.
Okay. All right, what about Group C? I mean, you talked about Argon Malaysia. Freedom Rumble really stepped it up. They got a decent number of kills in that last one, which I was actually quite impressed with. But, you know, if we're looking at some of the other top teams, you know, Blacklist International, Geek Fam, I mean, Geek Fam got a decent number of kills, but Blacklist International, they came in with a donut from what I know. They did not do very well, but we're going to go into this one. It's going to be match 4 Purgatory. Again, from Group C, AJ, who do you think needs to step up?
Hopefully none of them, man. Group C's just been showing up way too many times, right? And, you know, even when you think like Sorry Raw's not really doing a lot, Sorry Raw stepped it up on day number 2. And I think Group C's already had, you know, their great time in here. Teams like MND Die Hard, New Gang, you know, the bottom feeders, Secret Experts, definitely not a bottom feeder, but they do definitely struggle whenever Team C do step on in there, but they maintain consistency with their kills, right? But in terms of MND Die Hard as well as New Gang, it's just an absolute no-go from them. They just need to figure out, perhaps in this round, how do you play Game of Survival? How do you keep your heads down and just get into that final zone? Just run in there with 0 kills. Nobody cares. Those placement points will go quite far.
Okay. You know, I think you mentioned it earlier, Secret Expert, the fact that they were all about survival, right? And they haven't really been able to survive too much. I think that you're going to see a little bit of a drop-off, at least in performance for those guys. But if we're looking at this little spread right now, I feel like nobody's going into the moat house. Everybody wants to just jump in, get as much loot as possible, you know, just start things early. Is that kind of where you play as well? Or do you play a little bit more passively? We'll just, you know, float out more to the northeastern part of the island.
I'm mind blown right now by how many of these teams just ended up right here beside each other, right? But my personal tactic is all the time drop in the middle of the map, because no matter where the safe zone, the first safe zone at the very least, kind of pulls you be to the north, south, east, west, you're in the prime position to move the least as you try to reposition yourself on that map, right? These players, on the other hand, they kind of play the outskirts, and everybody just had the same idea today.
Yeah. It seems like it, but it looks like MND Argon. Oh my gosh, they've already got the knock on a Phoenix. They do get the kill. Atone, he atones for his skins, as I believe he gets the kill there. And really nice play to start things off.
Against Argon MY, especially, Holler, this is huge, right? And MND, hopefully they don't start messing up here. They've been struggling in the kills department. It's very, very difficult for them to hit anything. I don't mean that in an offensive way. It's really difficult for them to hit anything in the game. And now getting that 1 kill most definitely will be boosting their confidence. But look at how they're allowing their opponents to run away. I guess they understand, and they saw like, oh, okay, goodness me, that's Argon MY. Do we want to fight them? But you can't keep looking at teams in that way, because technically all of the other teams at the very moment, based on the data that we have, are better than you, right? So you just got to take some of these risky shots. And early on in the game, all those players from Argon MY, they don't really have much on them. And look at Chill. Now, he's been giving a little bit of extra leeway. They managed to return fire. 1 player from MND Die Hard already down and out. Okay, now maybe they can play passive. Run away, boys.
Yeah. Now it's even, right? You've got that 3-on-3. You can play. You've got the advantage here. But Pydro on the high ground, and at least from the watchtower here, he does know that MND is nearby, and he looks like he's gonna just look to flank them at this point. Just look to play again the outskirts. You've got no one behind you, so you know exactly where people are. You can kind of just make sure that your back is always covered. And I really like this rotation by Argon Malaysia here.
Absolutely. Decision making by Argon MY most of the time solid. It's just that sometimes when they get into those fights with those bigger squads, especially from their friends in Group C, things usually just doesn't go their way. Today has been quite a good day for Argon MY as they started things off. Hopefully it just remains to be the story for them. New Gang, let's see what they will be able to do in their final round in here against their brothers from Group B, Secret Expert, who have been doing tremendous for themselves in the competition so far.
Yeah, New Gig haven't really been able to find their footing thus far in the league. This is one of those teams that, we're expecting them to kind of just play to their strength, right? And they haven't been able to find that groove. As I say that, he's drawing a beat on Ibnu here, Asip that is. He's doing a decent amount of damage, but no knocks as of thus far, but New Gig, are they able to kill anybody? I don't think that's going to be possible, especially with all that cover in that building right there.
Yeah, and especially with all of those players just grouped up in front of each other, a simple glue wall and a savior comes by. It's just way too easy. And this has most definitely been one of the things that New Gang really needs to sit down and think about, right? When they start shooting, because you don't really want to be starting some of these engagements where there's just absolutely zero follow-up whatsoever. And now New Gang, they will have a little bit of a leeway here because Deborah comes in to take a little bit of this opportunity to third party, but they get eaten immediately. Jim Quiz shut down. Neki will be able to respond. Nox taken down onto the ground. New Gang needs to come in here aggressively if they want any kills for themselves. They cannot play passive anymore, Holla.
Yeah, Jim Quiz right there, he thought he could draw a beat on there, so he actually stood still, but there's no cover whatsoever in that field, and he got completely picked off, not where you want to be. If anything, you want to be running from cover to cover, and then you can find out where, when you can shoot. You should not be shooting right from the middle, and he was completely caught out there. Jim Quiz, just a really misplay there, and the team might actually suffer because of that.
And now New Gang, I just don't see the play coming to... No, they just want to play survival. They're just backing out of there, and they just want nothing to do with this. Devora will be continuing this fight up against Secret Expert. And like we kind of talked about earlier on, when you kind of get all of these knocks against players from Secret Expert, they're so close to each other, those pickups are just way too easy. So no follow-up coming through just yet. Devora sees that. They close the gap. No nades all that too much on the hands of Neki. He can pull one out. Instead, he pulls out the glue wall. The last one on his side, so he needs to be careful with his encounters. Nga knocks down Ash. Cyber will be able to respond as well. Just back-to-back knocks Neki, the final player, but he's away. No glue wall. One nade in his hands. No medkit as well. He needs to save the players that he has on his side, and he needs to be able to shut down New Gang. New Gang will be able to run over the situation. They finally step it out. They find the guts in themselves to come in here and ask some big questions, and they will be able to walk away with 2 of those kill points. And now they hunt down for Secret Expert.
Okay, Devour and Secret Expert have been going at it almost all day today. And the fact that they were skirmishing again, and they were just kind of like, everybody was dying, and it was just going to be this bloodbath. They did this last time where, Secret Expert were actually the victors of the last one. But this time, New Gang coming out of nowhere, cleaning up, and just being the janitor, so to speak. And they've got 2 kills to the nade. They made sure that they got as many kills as possible going in. But it looks like they're going to look to just get Secret Expert, and they do eliminate them. Very well played by New Gang. This is what we wanted to see from this team.
Oh, absolutely, man. So proud of them. I'm very glad they kind of changed their minds and did a double take into the situation, made the decision to go in there and pick those kills aggressively for themselves. And that's exactly what's going to be propelling them up the leaderboard. And now, as we say that, Argon MY, as they try to propel themselves in towards the next safe zone, they're kind of stuck here because they will be gatekept by the players of Freedom Rumble. But Freedom Rumble's kind of trying to play the safe zone as well for themselves, as they found out earlier on. You really have to make sure you've got the advantage, right? You've got the first spot in that final zone, unless you want to get caught out. And Argon MY this time, and it's just sitting back, not really too worried about the damage that they will take from that first zone, as they want to stock up on the artillery first.
Yeah, and Freedom Rumble is kind of like the metrics of Group C in the sense that
Mm.
they're the aggressive type, right? They want to take the fights. They're
Mhm.
always looking for pickoffs. They're looking to just get into the action, right? They don't. It's like the high risk, high reward play that we've seen through with what Metrics was doing. So they're
Yeah.
trying to get themselves into the fight. But the thing is that they haven't been lucky. They haven't been able to find anybody, which is the biggest thing. But it's only 8 minutes. It's 10 teams left. There's still many players or victims, however you want to look at it. Out about on the map. So they'll find their places, but at this moment, they haven't been able to find anyone. Icon, on the other hand, sticking to the high ground, playing it very, very safe.
And they need to. This is their final matchup where if they can secure solid points for themselves, all they do is just propel themselves not into anywhere, right? But literally into the top 5 of the leaderboards. And that's most definitely something that is spurring Icon on. If only they were able to play slightly better in that previous matchup. But we understand their struggles. Once again, this was something that we kind of foresaw coming as they were to go and take this fight up against Group C. That final zone battle with so many of these Supreme squads getting on in there. It's just not a easily, it's not an easy situation to overcome. Similar to the situation Sorry Raw has to deal with the danger zone.
Yeah, they need to get out of this. This is one of those moments where, like, did they get the memo? Do they understand that they're in danger right now? They need to be a little bit careful. But Vegeta gets a nice knock there. What a play. I think caught him out sleeping. And Sorry Roar just in a bad spot. They need to move, especially since this is still the danger zone. They do need to be careful. But Freedom Rumble are not making it easy for these guys.
Vegeta saw that opportunity, went in there for the knock. Timing was perfect, managed to take that kill as well. And Danger Zone now moves away. They know exactly who's in front of them. It's going to be the players of Sorry Raw. Nothing too much that Freedom Rumble cannot handle. And I think this pressure, they most definitely will be able to bring in through a rush. And a couple of great grenades that can be cooked up and thrown in. But unfortunately, Xpot does not have that. But he does have something else that's super useful in the CQC situations, that shotgun. And he will be able to re-heal himself just first before he goes in to challenge more of these players. But look at these blue walls just barricading all of those windows. They find no way in. But Xpot with that shotgun and to the back of Donkey. Sorry, Raw. They find no exit from this place.
Oh, Xbot's so lucky. The glue wall had just expired, and like right then, he caught him out guard, and he's just looking to go in. Freedom Rumble are being the aggressors here. They're trying to find the rest of them. Then Sorry Roar does go down. Freedom Rumble completely owning them there as they got 4 kills to their name. They pick up all of their brothers, and they're all fine at this moment. Freedom Rumble in a great spot as Blacklist International are kind of moving towards their location at the moment.
Oh, Cobra starting things off, long-range engagement that will just warn off the players of Freedom Rumble to make sure they find a good compound for themselves. But the flank is already set by Miro. Here comes the nade. And look at the nades from the side of Miro, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 4 more in his backpack. And he's not the only player coming in here for those nade plays. We know for a fact that Cobra will be able to follow it up on the other side as well. And now ground right in front of him. Another nade will be popped out momentarily. And Too Fast cannot respond. Here comes Phoenix from the left-hand side flank. Cobra just maintaining distance from the wall as well, so as to not get pushed. Time Turner pulled out by Miro as he steps into the compound of those players of Freedom Rumble. But Freedom Rumble's just playing passive. They don't want to take the fight just yet. Miro steps on in. Good response, but unfortunately, they will not be able to save Xpot. Too Fast, right? Oh, nade! Bye-bye, boys!
Grenade! Oh, wham bam, and he caught them both, and they thought they were safe with the glue walls. They don't have the cover on the top, and he goes right in. Well played there by Miro there. He does get knocked himself. He's looking to fight this one out, but this was looking to be very favorable for Blacklist International here, as they've got 2 kills to their name, but it looks like New Gank are on the prowl. They hear them, they see the action, they want in on it.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't want in on this. First of all, you should have been able to see who is on that kill feed and who's taking all of those kills. If you think you can surprise Blacklist International, well, bring it on. Here comes Miro cooking that nade up. He's got 5 in his pocket, pulls out the glue wall first just so that he can secure a better position for himself. Phoenix with the pop as well, and out of nowhere, Fikayan manages to take down Clowns. He steals 1 kill. Is that going to be good enough? Blacklist International now pissed. Miro with the double vectors trying to catch all of these players, but New Gang, no not coming into their compound just yet. A couple of nades now can change the fate of New Gang. Miro opening up in the first one, needs to follow it up in the second as well, but there's just no follow-up. Drex cooking one up for himself as well. Double glue walls by Cobra, and he is stuck. And a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. Hopefully Cobra gets out of that safe.
Oh, that grenade was on point. Asip goes to knock down there. Mural's looking to flank this around. He's got a nice location. He does get the nice flank. Ali does get the knock on Shreds. He's looking to fight this one out. The glue wall keep Mural up, at least for now. He's looking to just fire into this one, but he's all by himself. New Gang, they thought they were the aggressors, and it looks like they're the runners here as they're running away, trying to keep themselves alive. New Gang, are they able to survive? I don't know if this is going to happen. Blue Blacklist International does end up wiping out New Gang at the end.
Oh, and it looks like they have another feeders here. M&D Diehard just beyond the horizon, sneaking into the safe zone. Are they going to take a couple of pot shots as well? I mean, I don't understand the decision making from New Gang at that point. You know who's that? You know who's doing the killing? You actually thought you're going to be able to jump them. They should have played that a little bit more safely.
You can't play scared. You got to be aggressive. It doesn't matter who you're up against. Yeah, you might be the smallest kid in the block or whatever, but you still need to fight, right?
It's the art of war, my friend. How do you start a fight? And you never start a fight that you know you cannot win. The least that they could have done is primed up their grenades and opened up with a couple of first knocks. Like how Freedom Rumble took over the situation with Geek Fam earlier on. It was opened up by those nades because, you know, that just throws your opponents off so much. And when Blacklist International saw them coming in, they didn't bother playing with their guns. The first thing they did was start cooking up those nades. It's a huge game changer. And New Gang kind of learned that the hard way.
Yeah. I mean, that was a hard lesson to learn, so to speak, especially since your team has been eliminated that early. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's going to make you better, right? I think even if you're going to watch these replays, you're going to figure out what things, you know, the other teams are doing well. Like you mentioned, cooking up those grenades, making sure that you had that aggression in the, you know, the AoE damage, everybody's softened up before you go in so you can clean up. So it makes a lot of sense here. But, you know, that's for probably those teams that really need to kind of just get better, right? I think that's a good tip for them learning it. But, you know, if you're going up against a Blacklist International, Icon, you know, AKO, all of these teams right now, what else can you do? Oh, as I say that, Icon looking to go for MND right now. And it looks like Icon are in a pretty good spot, especially since they're right on the outside of that circle. I do favor their positioning as MND do need to make their way to that circle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, and this was the problem that we talked about Icon facing, right? With so many of these Titan squads squeezing into that final zone as well, being able to handle their own out there on the battlefield against some of these supreme, you know, mechanically gifted players in Free Fire. AKO, Arjun Boo now spotting out the players of Geek Fam, but I don't think they are great to spot out because it's a double snipe setup, but a good double glue wall pulled out by the team members, but Icon just getting run over. But here comes M&D Slayer right now. Great plays, but they have to abandon their vehicle, use the terrain to their advantage. Glue wall pulled out right in front of the tree, but it's not enough. Mio's now spraying them down. Yun will be able to snipe one out. Icon gets that kill, and Atong has got nothing else to do but just run as quickly as he can.
Run away, my friend. Run away. You had really no chance there. And I mean, he drove by. He actually hit him a little bit. He did get knocked down, Yun, that is. And so he was fortunate enough to have the life bar, so to speak, and to not be killed by that. But it was kind of funny as they were just driving by. And they did get shot in the end. Something you need to be careful about. As I say that, Mios, with a nice play, knocks Umbrella, eliminated 7.
What? He just got that kill stolen away from him. He's not going to be too pleased with Argon MY at all. And now Icon, they have got a great elevation here. They just need to make sure Argon MY does not sneak that headshot off of them. And they are away from all of those Titan squads as well. Because on their left, Icon just needs to deal with MND Slayer. It's not too big of a deal. And then they just have to pay attention to Argon MY. Don't allow them to move into the safe zone. Try to gatekeep them, but just manage their own timing as well. Because they only have 30 seconds to get this done now.
Oh, Mural's just trying to get the jump on him, but Phoenix ends up getting the clean. He gets the knockdown. He's going to reload. Does get the kill now, and that's going to be cleaning it up. Very well played there, but my MND Diehard, they've been eliminated 6th here. Icon looking to pick them up, just try to keep themselves alive, but that circle is going to be there. There's 5 teams left. This is going to be the final circle.
Okay, Mio's great shot against the one and only Mr. D. And it looks like they will not be able to run away. AKO as they try to get away. It's going to be the players of Blacklist as well who overrun that situation. And Icon, the perfect spot to snuff out all of those players from the side of Blacklist International. Pedro just chipping in as well to shut down that final player from the side of AKO. Blacklist just being squeezed in by the safe zone. Icon as well, but since they've got the elevation, they do have the extra advantage of spraying down a little bit more of those shots before Blacklist can even get the chance to respond. Cobra's gonna just die out to the zone. Mios as well as Man outside of the zone. And now, Chill, with so much of pressure played from the bottom. Argon MY, Nate being cooked up by Spark as well. This might just be what does Icon in. Ah!
That was such an amazing grenade at the very end. What was that? That was so well played. In Argon Malaysia, they are the Icon Destroyers, and they've got 2 booyahs in a row. Just Pedro was on point. This is a team that is just like on another level right now. The fact that they have the most amount of booyahs in the league, Chill, Spark, Arabic, Pedro, Afix, this is a team, again, you got to respect them. Put some respect on their name. Jerome Guru, hashtag, let's go.
You know, and Argon MY, they didn't have the best of positions in the game, but they played it to their best of ability. Once again, with the positioning out there on the battlefield, really managing the final safe zone well. And as luck would have it, the players on the other side, it was AKO as well as Blacklist International that kind of had to go up against each other. Icon from up top. And Icon really had the best of the advantages because they knew exactly where the rest of those players were, right? And once again, the grenades just being the most lethal weapon you can have in your hands to start and end some of these battles in style.
Yeah, it was all about the utility of this one. I think that you saw a bunch of that. A whole bunch of glue walls, a lot of grenades in this one. There was a scattered damage throughout. It was kind of a mess in the sense. It was like very, usually you want your just ambushes going in, just making sure that you're picking them off. But with the glue walls and the amount of grenades, it was just like sheer chaos. And I can only imagine what it's like on those team communications when you're just yelling grenade every 2 seconds because every single fight was just like a firefight with just mass chaos throughout.
And you know, the win for Argon MY, the win for Argon MY was just so much sweeter this time round, is because they it's all about the records, man. And now Icon as well as Argon MY, they hold the records for the most booyah, but they were kind of tied up on it. Argon MY just said bye-bye. We're taking this one away. It's great stuff coming through from this team, right? And they just proved themselves out there once again. I believe this is their 4th booyah overall, or is this the 5th one?
4th? Wait, hang on. Actually, I think it's their 5th one. They had 2 in the day 1, 1 last in day 2. So they've got 2 today. So yeah, and they've 2 more games. So they could get literally 2 more. What? Like that'd be crazy, right?
Absolutely crazy, man. Argon MY, they are just winding up. They are just getting started. And of course, at the start of the day, it was Devora trying to step it up as they saw Secret Expert. They thought that they will be able to, just run over the situation. But it was smart plays coming out from New Gang. They were able to pull that flank just when I thought they were about to run away with their tail stuck between their legs. They just came back in there and they cleaned up house really, really well.
Yeah, they're very smart. Just the way that they played. But Secret Expert there, this is one of those things where they're going to have to check the replay. They did not have a good day. If they want to have a better day 4, which is tomorrow, they really need to make some changes. Whatever they did today did not work. Every single fight that they got into were more 50-50s. And if anything, they just barely made out. If anything, this is one of those things where they're going to have to look, again, at the replay, see what they did wrong, because today was not a good day for them.
And of course, with Blacklist International taking that fight up with those nades and then just following it up against New Gang as well, who thought that they could, overtake the situation, but they make such a huge mistake. Everybody rushes into the exact same hut. It was too easy of a shutdown for a, skilled team like Blacklist International, not just mechanically, but when it comes down to the decision making as well as the strategy as to how to overtake a compound. Icon from the other side, so much of pressure being played, whilst Blacklist International just finishes off AKO. But it was a, destined fight between the players of Blacklist International as well as Icon towards the very end.
Yeah, and just very smart. I mean, Geek Fam eliminated there in fourth. Argon Malaysia with 8 kills at least at this point, and they got more going in. We're just going to see this. This is the overall standing with 10 kill points and 22 points from Argon Malaysia. Icon 17. You said that they needed to be better. Are they good enough with this second place? Is that good enough for you, AJ?
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, today they turned on, they showed up. That one game that they didn't show up, they still managed to pick up, 7 to 8 points there for themselves. So it has been an amazing day for Icon. They are setting records out here. They're fighting with Argon MY to see exactly who can pick up the most number of booyahs in here today. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Icon will not be playing in the final 2 matches, as Group B will now take a rest as we invite back Group A into the fray. But of course, let's just run through the quick standings of this particular matchup. Argon MY with the number 1 spot, Icon right behind them. Blacklist International doing great with the 15 points in the 3rd spot. AKO Steady Squad behind them with 8 points. New Gang as well as MND Die Hard with the 5th and 6th position, and Geek Fam with that 7th spot with the 7 points. To finish up, it's Freedom Rumble, No Escape Umbrella, Secret Expert Devora, as well as Sorry Raw. Really surprising to see some of these big teams like Secret Expert and Freedom Rumble really bombing out early, including Geek Fam. But that's just how it is whenever Group C steps in, isn't it, Howler?
Yeah, it definitely is. And you addressed the elephant in the room. Geek Fam, yes, they got 7 placement points, but 0 kills. I think they only had 2 games in the last game as well, and that's 2 kills throughout 2 days, right? That is just a bad time. Now, mind you, they had a 68-point monster in day 2 last week, so they do have a little bit of a lead, and they have that cushion. But the thing is that these teams are starting to rise. Their teams are getting better. They're starting to grow. You're seeing this even in Argon Malaysia, Icon today. These are teams that you need to put some respect on their name. And so Geek Fam right now, they're taking it a little too easy, maybe being a little lazy, but we've got 2 more games. We're going to find out what's going to happen as we go into the final match 5 and 6. But if we're looking at what happened throughout the day, we see a lot of the same 2 teams, Icon Esports and Argon Malaysia. We've been tooting their horn throughout because they've done so well. They've gotten the booyahs, they've gotten their points, and they've really shown up today.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Both of these teams, and once again, they are fighting for the record of who can hold on to the most number of booyahs in the competition. And slowly and steadily, they are rising up to the leaderboards, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And I'm very sure what this has managed to do for both of these teams is put them in the top 5. We will be able to see, the highlights as well as the overall standings in a little bit. Let's see if or not they will. Oh my!
Wow!
Lord. Top 5, my friend. Let me take that back. Let me take that back just a little bit, Holler. Number 1, what in the world? Argon MY. And they're not done yet, bro. They have got 2 more matches.
That is so crazy. I mean, the fact that they got the 2 booyahs in a row, but they got a decent number of kills. It's not like they were playing, super defensive and just like sneaking the ones in the end. This is a team that really stepped up. Look at Geek Fam, 1 point behind. They got 2 kills, or they got like 7 points in the last one, and they're still behind, right? Even with a monster lead. But Secret Expert have now tied Geek Fam. Blacklist International is 4th. AKO Steady Squad 108. Icon 6th place. This is a meteoric rise. They went from 14th now to 6th. They're done for the day. Very well played by Icon. Team Princess, we're going to see more of them. Freedom Rumble, EWG, Epic, Soror, Sorry Roar, Knockscape Umbrella in 12th, 2 Baradic in 13th. We're going to see more of those guys. New Gank, 14th. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for them. They didn't really have the greatest showing. Devour as well. Metrics. We got to see more of these guys. We need to see more aggression. They really need to step it up. They've got 2 more games. We'll be seeing them. But Mind, Die Hard in 17th and Hero in 18th at this point.
This is the reason why I absolutely love shoutcasting for Free Fire. It keeps you on the edge, man. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you always guessing who in the world is going to be stepping it up next. Argon MY, out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, out of absolutely nowhere, is taking that number 1 spot in such dominant fashion. And Geek Fam, they're in the same group as them. They couldn't do anything about it whatsoever. But you know what's super impressive? Secret Expert. Super duper impressive. They've been able to maintain their 3rd spot, but unfortunately for them, they don't get to play anymore. So they just now have to hope and pray that teams like Blacklist International as well as No Escape Umbrella, they don't start, slowly climbing up that ladder.
Yeah, and but you know, Argon, Geek Fam, Blacklist International, 3 out of the 4 teams they've got 2 more games. So we're gonna see more. This is a huge opportunity for them. But can anyone stop this freight train that is Argon Malaysia? If we're looking at it here, Pydro here, this is a massive 6 kills, 2 assists, but 1,200 damage? Are you kidding me? Yeah, his hit rate might not be as much, but maybe he's using SMGs and all that. So it's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past with, you know, what's his name? I forgot the gentleman's name from Metrics, but nonetheless, it's 45% hit rate, which is pretty high. I mean, Pydro completely on point, and this is why Argon Malaysia are the top team in this league.
Absolutely, man. Mocha from the side
Mocha.
of Metrics, he picked up that 1 MVP. You know, we talk about how consistency is key. This is the 2nd MVP title that Pedro's picking up for himself. And you know, the first time, you know, at the start of today, that 1 MVP title wouldn't have looked very impressive because although Argon MY, they had 3 booyahs to their name already, they just weren't doing really great in the competition. Yes, they had the title of the most booyahs, but Epic just caught up super quickly just today with that back-to-back booyah, and they knew that they needed to take the title back. And this is the team where when their backs are up against the wall, when the pressure is on their shoulder, they perform tremendously well.
Yeah, you know, it's great, right? That is what you need to do, right? When your back is on the wall, that's when you need to step up. You need to ensure that you're able to play it out. But, you know, they had no warm-up games. They went in. They knew what they had to do. They were all business. This is a team that we saw that, you know, a very aggressive team. They understood exactly what they needed to do. Make sure that, you know, they don't give any free kills, anything like that. They're playing their own game. Everybody needs to respect them. They need to fear these guys. If they're seeing the kill, you know, Pydro and Argon Malaysia just getting all these kills, they need to just run away from that firefight. They don't want to get involved with that. They need to know that Argon Malaysia are here to stay.
You know, at the very moment, Argon MY is holding on to the title of the 2nd most placement points, you know, gotten in the competition, only after Secret Expert. And the thing here that Secret Expert really needs to kind of step it up, you know, tomorrow is really finding some of those skills, because the balance between their placement points as well as skill points, you know, is worlds apart. They've got 40 points between it, right? Because 44 kills and 84 placement points. They are surviving mostly based on those placements, and it's just a matter of time before the lack of aggression catches up with them, right? But you know, like you mentioned earlier on, Holler, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Hopefully, they don't really see too much of a problem with, you know, these other teams catching up. But that's the problem. Other teams are catching up because below Secret Expert, you've got teams like Blacklist International, AKO Steady Squad, Icon, Freedom Rumble, EWG. And these are all just familiar names that we see performing really, really well out there on the battlefield in the kills department.
Yeah, and to be honest, kills are the most consistent thing, right? Placement is just like sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not, especially with the circles and all that. So it's one of those things where if you can hit your shots, you know, maybe you get that team wipe early, that will really help you moving in. But we're gonna go into match 5. This is gonna be Kalahari. Let's welcome back in the Group A teams, and this is gonna be Group A versus C as we get into the final 2 matches here. It's gonna be Kalahari, but let's talk a little bit more about Group A, right? We talked about Team Princess, we talked about Metrics and how they need to step up, but what are the other teams that we need to really be looking out for in Group A?
Well, after day number 2, Hero, you know, they kind of had a couple of issues. They weren't able to show up for a lot of their matches in full form, in a full squad, and that kind of put them at the very bottom of the board, right? In fact, MND Diehard, the team that was actually struggling more than them, managed to overtake them on day number 2, even without really doing much in the competition. And that most definitely would have hurt Hero. And, you know, it is a lot to ask, but hopefully they are able to step it up this time around. Dua Barade with the early opener against Team Epic, and Epic is just getting slayed one after the other. Asian will be able to strike back by knocking down Case, and no kills coming through from either squad just yet. Asian actually managing to shut down the player Kaiser from Dua Barade, and that is your first blood.
Yeah, Epic here and 2 Baradik were just like, hey, we're going to just continue on. It doesn't matter. We don't care about placement points. We just want to be aggressive from moment 1. We landed here first. We're going to fight. And it looks like, you know, Epic, unfortunately, or fortunately for Epic, they do get the kill. So ASEAN gets that kill, which is a pretty big one, especially in the temple here. You know, and Sorry Roar are looking to fight as well. And they're looking to just kind of meet up. And it's firefight from minute 1.
Yeah, and all of them just inside of these tunnels, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at shrines. And you know, sorry, Raw is just making too easy work of this. As Donkey, the masterful player, especially when it comes to the CQC situation, he just sprays down all of his opponents. He had that backup coming through from Shark as well as Imira, as they give them that backup. Shrine now belongs to Sorry Raw, and the loots and early 4 kills most definitely will be putting them in a great position within this lobby.
Oh my gosh, Team Princess. This is the 3rd place team going into the start of today. They have definitely dropped down. They have not done well, but they got eliminated early. They didn't get any single kills. I mean, this is looking bad for Team Princess, something that we were talking about as one of the teams to watch. They have not done well today. This is one of those moments where, hey, we need to shake this off. We need to figure things out. But again, they're eliminated early. They've only got one more match to salvage a somewhat miserable day for them.
And because of teams like Team Icon, I'm not too worried about Team Princess really not performing in here, right? Because if Icon can get it done, and not only can they get it done, but in such spectacular fashion where they just jump into the 6th position from absolutely nowhere. In fact, they were from the 14th spot into the 6th spot. This mind-blowing, performance in here today. There's no telling exactly what Team Princess will be able to deliver because, in fact, they've been slightly more consistent in comparison to Icon, right? Just one really great day. But, because of what Team Princess is showing us is exactly why I was so afraid that Icon was going to lose this momentum if they didn't take, the most from this day. Because you never know what these other days hold. Sometimes these teams are at the top, and sometimes they just really bomb out, Holla.
Yeah, sometimes you have an off day, and I mean that's the unfortunate case, in just all of gaming, not just battle royales. But wow, Rish, what is this? He's getting some shots off. What was that?
He just caught the guy launching off the launch pad, didn't keep an eye on his back at all, and the rest of his team members were already flying out. I think that is great decision-making coming in here from Nuo Brady, because he must have been watching them for quite a while and decided to take the very final guy who was about to use the launch pad so that nobody saves him. Great stuff. They get a free kill.
Very smart play right there. That's like 200 IQ if you think about it, because if he shoots early, then he gives away his position. They have numbers, and he's just being very patient. That's one of those things where, hey, if you could do it smart like that, make sure you get that pick off. But the thing is that you need to hit your shots. If you're able to do that, more power to you. If not, you're like me, we're just spraying. Oh, but a nice grenade there, E-Man. Oh, he gets the nice play. Time turner is going to be used. At least he's going to go in and out on that one. He gets the other one with a shotgun. Oh, E-Man with a nice play. Hero, this is it. This is what we needed, and this is a great start for Hero.
I absolutely love what Iman just did, right? First of all, he immediately drops the beat, so he starts recovering his health, and he also gets the little bit of a boost in his speed, and his opponent pulls out the time turner. And the recent update just ensures you cannot shoot from within the time turner, and you cannot get hurt from outside the time turner. So it's all about that ring around the rosy gameplay, right? And the guy uses the ring around the rosy as for the timing that it takes for him to switch his weapons, pulls out the shotgun. One shot, one knock. Too easy. Masterful play. And now Team Hero going in here for the shutdown onto EWG, and it looks like Manchai just does not have a first aid kit on him, and all he can do is just run.
Yeah, he's just running at them, though. And I think that this is a little aggressive. You do need to be a little bit careful here. But, just make sure your team is following you. Vanix is up very far ahead. He's going for the flank right now. That said, we're going to go and talk a little bit about Epic here. They found Blacklist International, at least from the low ground. So they do have a good vantage spot, but they're going to continue to run. Make sure that they're in the circle, and they're using this mountain to great effect here.
Oh, yeah. And they kind of know exactly who's in front of them, because I believe one of those Epic players managed to get a knock, and they don't want to have anything to do with Blacklist International on Kalahari. They back away. They think they want to take this fight a little bit later on. I respect their decision. It's most definitely a sound one coming through from them, and they kind of just need to be careful, right? Because Epic, they started off in the 6th spot, and they've fallen quite far back in the 10th position now. They really, really need to make the best out of the final 2 rounds that they have in here. And as they try to reposition themselves, we catch up with Freedom Rumble, who are getting out of the compound as they spot Team Metrics making their way in.
Yeah, they're trying to find something, but Hero, again, they've really stepped up. Those 2 kills is, I don't mean to say that this is like the all-incoming team, but this is a great start to a team that really needs any points they can get, right? If they can survive, they can find the pickoffs. Maybe they found Monito here all by himself, as he just looks to just drive away and keep himself alive. But, if Hero can continue this momentum, more power to them. They really need this going into the next couple of days in the league.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to serve them because I believe one of those EWG players got killed by Pedro just moments ago.
Okay.
So Hero might be running directly into Argon MY, and that might just be a GG for them. iPants Ali from afar with the Car 98, and he will not be missing those shots. Gets the knock, immediately gets the kill. Decision making from Blacklist International. We really need to talk about this, and it was something that was displayed just moments ago as that player kind of shot the guy down on that launch pad. Always pick off a player that you can secure the kill on, because that's exactly where some of these players kind of fall short from, right? They see a couple of players out there, they immediately shoot the one closest to them without really thinking what's the probability of securing that kill or winning the gunfight.
And I think that comes a lot to solo play, right? Because if you've got your team, you're coordinating, maybe you can look to do it. But Ali, man, this guy's been on point throughout. He's got a couple knocks already. I mean, he's got 2 kills to his name. He's been getting knocks left and right. So if anything, he's making the other teams expend their medical kits. So that's very good for him. But, Blacklist International, again, I think that you talked about how smart they are. They are a very well-coordinated team. They're the winners of the MCP Season 2 for a reason. This is a team you got to respect.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. You gotta love those plays from Ali. Super accurate, this guy is. One shot with the knock, another follow-up shot with the kill, and that's just 2 back-to-back that he's bagged for himself with, once again, those decision-making. I mean, as a sniper, you really need to know exactly when to take your shots, and, as for the rest of the players in Blacklist International, you really need to trust your team member, right? You really need to trust Ali that he will be able to take those shots and finish it off. As you can see, the trigger discipline coming through from, Miro, Cobra, and the rest, as they do not bother chipping into those fights at all.
Yeah, not really able to help there, but Freedom Rumble here just going to stick around. They're going to be patient. Again, it's 8 minutes into it. Things are going to start heating up probably around the 10, 11 minute mark when things are a little bit tighter. But that said, Freedom Rumble haven't really found anything. And I think that they realize that they don't need to be aggressive. They don't need to be running outside. They've got all the utility that they need. They've picked up everything, and they're happy. As I say that, Roar, excuse me. They're 4 kills to their name. Sharks has been down. They are still continuing to look around, try to find something. They need to get some kills. They need some points.
Yeah, and Sorry Raw really needs to run away and find a compound because Argon and Y just spotted them from the back, and with the elevation that Sorry Raw has, they've got all of their heads exposed as they try to run away. It's either they take the fight up against the players of No Escape Umbrella or Argon MY, and I think the pick is on to the players of Umbrella, and I don't think that's intentional. Kaz has been spotted out. Roy Bro, he will be able to take this opportunity here. Imira positioning himself as well. No nades coming through just yet. One player from Sorry Raw goes in there for the drop, and immediately Donkey has to pull out his glue wall, and another time turner will be brought out into the play as well, and they have to play Ring Around the Rosie. Roy Bro gets the first knock, and Bills goes out. No Escape Umbrella. That was quick work by Sorry Raw.
Yeah, but Sorry Raw were just kind of... that was so weird. Like, I wasn't sure who, like, if they even saw that Nox Umbrella were there, and all of a sudden they ambushed it, and they just kind of, like, took them out very cleanly, but... that could have gone disastrously for Sorry Roar. Yeah. The fact that they were able to just get the jump on that was very lucky in the sense that these guys are just chilling there perfectly for them to just ambush. So well played by Sorry Roar. That's going to get them back into this game. But as Epic now, they're going to make their way into the circle. They've got it. They're going to run from the river here, just making sure that they're there. But they're going to run into Geek Fam. Geek Fam, this is a team that, again, very strong, but their team is so spread out. I don't know if they're going to be prepared for this, as Epic are looking to just group up, try to find them. Maybe, I mean, they don't see them now, but they might get the easy pick off here.
Oh, information is key, and it looks like Orin has already sent that information back, and Epic's getting shot at one after the other. They don't know that Orin is actually upstairs, so Coco is in a lot of trouble. Orin jumps out of the door, and it looks like he will be able to cook that nade up as well. He's waiting for some of these players to come up that stairs, but it looks like Epic does not want to play that. They instead rush out, seeing if they can find any of those players of Geek Fam rushing towards them, but they will find nobody. It's Coco already jumping on inside. Pedro knocks down the final player of Dua Barade, and it looks like Geek Fam will be able to back away from this situation. Epic as well. No takedown, no knocks coming through just yet, but they know that this fight is about to break out.
Yeah, it's going to happen regardless. The circle is outside, and Geek Fam are trying to find something. Zach gets the knock, and it looks like Keppa as well, and Zach ends up getting the kill. Keppa is going to continue to fight, and Epic has now been eliminated. Geek Fam just mechanically very strong, and you're seeing that now. They were almost surgical in that one. Yes, they got 3 kills to the name, and they did lose 1 player in the end.
And they kind of lost their best player in the end. So that's going to be very bad for Geek Fam. Orange, definitely the guy you need, especially when it comes to those close quarters combat. You saw him whip out that shotgun, and he also is super effective for those long range encounters, which just makes him an overall perfect player to have on the side of Geek Fam. And now without him in the mix, Geek Fam really has to play a passive game in towards that final circle. They cannot risk coming across any of those other bigger teams. But against Hero, probably they can take a couple of risks, even with a trio. Now, on the other side
That's
of
disrespectful,
the map, Freedom
man.
Rumble. But it's Hero, man. I can't do much. International Freedom Rumble.
But they've
This
got
one-
numbers any given day, man. They can make. They don't put down Hero. They got a chance. They've got 2 kills. I like what I've seen, at least in this game. They've kind of picked it up. Geek Fam right now, they don't have numbers. That's like the one disadvantage that they have. But are they able to take on a full squad? We're gonna have to find out. As I say that, it looks like the skirmish has begun here. Oh,
Let's
nice
see.
shot
Let's
him in
see
the
if you
back
have
of
the
all
numbers.
things. Even numbers.
You take this one, brother. You take this one.
All right, so Zach is looking to just fight around. Fucker is just looking. He's trying to get the flank on him. They found him in the glue wall. He's going to get the shot. And yes, mechanically sound. Geek Fam are just turning it up. And yes, I think that you did call it in the sense that Hero really no chance. Nice grenade there. They do end up taking man. And Geek Fam is eliminated on the quad kill by E-Man. Totally on point. He's got 6 kills. And he proves wrong, AJ.
What a play, man! You can die happily right now. Argon MY is here to clean up the pieces, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Iman, he can die a happy death as he just did the biggest favor in the world for Argon MY. What a nade! What a shutdown! Shutting my mouth up in the process as well, Holla.
What a crazy turn of events. To be honest, the way things are going, I thought he was eliminated as well, but that was a grenade from the heavens. That was amazing. As I say that, Donkey's turning it up. He's got the nice triple kill. Oh, he gets the second one as well. He's cleaning it up. Donkey with a double vector, making sure he gets it, but he's so low. He does need to be a little bit careful.
What?
And he does get knocked in he gets killed in the L. Phoenix with a nice grenade. Well played there.
Okay, now Metrics prime position, but they need to move off of this platform depending on exactly where the next zone is. So let's spot on. Ooh, Metrics, what a luck, man. They don't really need to move all that too much, but if they do make that final approach, they'll just have this very small little corner of that platform to sit on, which puts them in an unfortunate situation. So they need to spot exactly where they can now go in and play the defensive position. Argon MY as well as Freedom Rumble on the other hand. Freedom Rumble has got the better elevation. Argon MY in an unfortunate situation, and they will start the fight off against Team Metrics. An equal not coming through from either side, but no kills dropped just yet.
Yeah, not yet, but they're both full, they both have the full squad, right? Argon Malaysia, Freedom Rumble, these are teams that are definitely in prime position right now. Spark is so aggressive. He's all by himself. Riven from the high end. Troop gets the nice knock on to Hydro. That's going to start things off. Clown is going to knock on Phoenix, and Blacklist International, I think, is down to the last one. I don't know if they're able to keep this. Riven is just going to continue to stay on the high ground. You got nowhere to go. You might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah, but what does Argon MY have to lose on in here, as he was going to lose that one player? Some backup comes through from a third party, and Argon MY still alive and kicking in here. Freedom Rumble on the other hand, they will go ahead to lose Vegeta. A good nade coming through, but Ali will not be touched at all. Great position up top on that hill with the glue wall protecting him as well. Ali has got most definitely the best gun to spray on anyone who just closes that gap in here towards him, and he will not move a muscle. Freedom Rumble on the other hand, just on the foot of the hill before him, and if Ali does have one grenade in his hands, that's all it's gonna need for him to overcome the situation.
Yeah, Mocha going super aggressive. Metrics are trying to find the last of Argon Malaysia. Spark with a nice shotty makes him pay. Mocha gets knocked down here. Rise looking to avenge his buddy. He does get the knock on Spark, so he's looking to turn this around. He throws it out. Blacklist International has been eliminated, and it looks like Rise looking to just fight the circle, closing in on the final piece. Will you end it, AJ? Who's going to win this one?
Oh, yep. Freedom Rumble now. Opportunity. They take the fight up, and they've got the numbers, but Metrics knocks down Export too fast. He has got 7 grenades in his hands. He doesn't use any of them. He doesn't need them. Double Vectors finishes things up as Freedom Rumble picks up the booyah in Game 5.
Freedom Rumble on point. Just the number of kills they had. Very smart team. This Too Fast GG, Vegeta, Clowns, Xbot, Jeep, Neptune. This is a great team. We've seen an incredible growth from this one. You know, they were what, 13th in MCP Season 2. They didn't even make the grand finals, but they're really making a name for themselves on this one. They want to ensure that they survive the league stage. This is going to be a big one from Freedom Rumble and a big booyah, something they really needed to get going.
I don't want to talk about anyone else but Hero now. I don't want to talk about anyone else except
No,
Hero.
but just the setup, right?
Just that was one of
like-
the most epic moments of all, man. That nade bagged them my respect. I now want Hero to make it through to the grand finals. I don't care what happens, Hero. You've got my vote.
I mean, but the funny thing is you were like, yeah, Geek Fam, they've got only 3, Hero has 4, and this is easy pickets for Geek Fam, and then just the way things turned out. But that grenade was obviously the tie turner, right? The fact that they were actually down, they lost Zach very early. You know, Geek Fam had that advantage, and to be honest, I thought Geek Fam was going to pull away with it. I thought they were going to pull it off 3 versus 4, but no, Hero, man, with those grenades.
Even Geek Fam thought
like,
they were going to pull it off.
yeah, for sure. What a nice play there. I mean, that's what we want. This is Free Fire, right? Anything can happen. It's all about the utility and making sure that you get the nice kills there and just really turned it up. And that's what you wanted. Hero, I think they might have doubled, their point counts throughout the entire league in that one match alone. That was just really well played by Hero.
I don't know if Hero has ever gotten that many kills in any round so far.
Yeah.
So they most definitely have broken their own record in here. It's not a lot. It's not something to shout about. But the fact of the matter is who they actually got those kills on and how they managed to turn things around. And if it was not for Argon MY dropping in there in the worst possible situation and timing, I believe 2 of those players would have still been able to survive to the end. Just play the placement points as usual. But, just with Hero showing up in this round, I've got high hopes for them.
Yeah. The league is still young, right? There's still room for some upward movement in the sense. You just got to be top 12. You don't have to be first, second, third, or anything like that. You just need to make sure that you're in the grand finals because that's where the money's at. That's where that's what everybody's playing for, right? So you just need to make sure that you're just to that level. So if you can improve, you get yourself to that point, and Hero just completely turning it off in this game. We saw a lot of that, and we saw some good things at least from this game, and something that they can really be happy about as they're moving forward.
Absolutely, man. And, Hero has just been impressive not once, but twice in just that engagement earlier on as well. We commented on it as to how smart Eamon's decision-making was in those very crucial moments for him to just be able to take those back-to-back kills. Not really losing a lot of his bullets because he knew he had the shotgun. So if he pumps out one shot, he will have to go into the animation of that reload. And he just didn't want that, right? Instead, he used this very smart use of the grenade. And this is where Eamon just once again stepped it up against Geek Fam. Super nade. But, the guy couldn't go in there. He couldn't pick Rizal up. Argon MY just had to ruin the day for Hero. And they drop out at the 6th spot.
Oh my gosh. Just that grenade was just insane. I don't know. I don't think I've seen a better grenade throughout. Just really well played by Eman. Everything was, it was back to the wall. He was by himself. He needed to just have the miracle play, and he gets it with that grenade. And I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better story, at least in that game for him. But Freedom Rumble here, looking to turn it up. I mean, this is a team that didn't get a lot of kills early, but they really know how to vulture kills. They really know how to just play for that last circle. They were in high ground. They were very, in a great elevated position. They were understanding just the state of the game, and just really well played by Freedom Rumble there. I think that this was completely on them of just closing out games.
Yeah, and it's just impressive as to how Metrics is continuously stepping things up as well. But unfortunately, the place where they do not step it up in this round is in the kills department. And because of that, because those other teams were a little bit more aggressive, being in Blacklist International, Sorry Roy, as well as Argon MY, they easily project themselves over Metrics, although they were the ones who secured the 2nd spot. Let's start from the top. Freedom Rumble with the Booyah, 5 kill points in total. With 17 points, they finished up. Argon MY with their aggression, they were able to stay quite close to Freedom Rumble. 14 points. Sorry Raw in the 3rd spot with the 13, equalizing with Blacklist International as well, who took the 4th position. Metrics with the 5th spot. Hero in the 6th spot with 11 points. Wow. I think this is the biggest game of Heroes journey in the competition so far.
Yeah. They had only 5 points from day 1 and day 2. I mean, day 2 they had, some issues and they weren't able to play. But I mean, considering they got 11 points in this one game alone, this is a huge confidence boost for Hero. They can play with the big dogs. They can figure things out. They can get, I mean, if you can throw your grenades like that, you can just win almost every single team fight. You need to continue more of that. Make sure you ride that luck train, so to speak. But right behind them was Geek Fam, who they knocked out with 8 points, Epic with 5, EWG with 3, 2 Baradic with 2, Knoxville Umbrella, and Team Princess, though. Bit of an upset in the sense that they both got donuts here. I expected big things out of Team Princess going into today. They have not shown me that. And Team Princess, unfortunately, they're, at the bottom, at least in this match.
Yeah, Team Princess, where they shine is when they really pick their drop zones well and they don't come across any other teams. They play possum, they get into that final zone, and then they pick off a couple of, kills that come their way. That's their modus operandi. But going up against a strong team early on just didn't really do them all that too well. But I just want to focus in on Heroes' play a little bit more in here, because day number 2, we didn't really get to see them much in action. Day number 1 was just a disastrous day for themselves. But the plays out of Iman GG was mind-blowing, man. It was really, the movements were crazy. He knew exactly what he was doing. The decision making was insane, and it did not look like Hero cannot hang with the big boys, and they kind of proved that against Geek Fam as well, right? So I really wonder exactly how much more will they be able to deliver in this next round, because if they can show us consistency, I think they are the new teams to look out for.
Just start slow, right? You can't be looking for the booyahs now. You can't be going full aggression right now. What you did last time worked. You just plan your attacks. You make sure that you're very strategic with your movements. Make sure that you're just continue to do this. Again, it's just kind of, just kind of the risk versus reward thing, right? Is it really worth it? You got to just make sure that you're playing with it. You play safe. I think that's the biggest thing. And to AJ's point of just being the Asian dad, of making sure that he's continuing to play well, they need to continue to do this, right? You need to go for that A+. But we're going to go into match 6. This is going to be purgatory. This is going to be the final one. This is Group A versus Group C. A lot at stake at this one. We want to see a lot of, continued movement and growth of the teams that haven't done well, like Hero themselves. But we're going to go into this one and we're going to see who ends up pulling it out, at least in day 3 today.
Well, as long as it's not the usual big names, I'm absolutely fine with that. Argon MY, they're the new big names. I'm absolutely in love with that. And we also saw Icon just stepping it up on their own accord earlier on in the day. And yes, they don't get to perform anymore, but that's exactly what we expect out of each and every single day of the league stages, for different teams, different brands, to show us exactly what we've been waiting to see, this free fire perfection. And now Freedom Rumble, very close to the players of Dua Barade at Forge, and they don't have to worry much because the Ski Lodge is most definitely a great place to loot up, which will be keeping Dua Barade very busy. But as I say that, I believe there was one team flying towards Dua Barade as well, so that's not going to be a very quiet situation for long. Metrics breaking up, and they are very far apart from each other, whereas No Escape Umbrella, they are holding on to a very tight grouping. There's a plus and there's a minus here. They have to all share the same exact loot in that one compound, and the plus is they get to pick each other up. I think it's more of a minus than a plus.
Yeah, I think it's more of a minus. Like, you saw some of them, they don't even have guns right now, and they're just kind of trying to find what they can. But Geek Fam right here, they're spread out. They do get a decent amount of guns. I just saw Pydro get a little bit low, so they do need to be careful, as they found, Argon Malaysia have found Geek Fam, something to take note of, especially with this river here. They do need to be careful because these are two teams that do not want to be eliminated early.
Spark doesn't have a gun on him. Oh, Zach will be able to spot him. Backstab! Afik comes through as well. Spark managing that situation really well. Zach gets taken out of the situation. Fikri from afar will be able to knock a player, and they will be able to not get more than that. Spark knock right back onto the ground. Fikri a little bit too quick, but Fikri himself now goes down. Oren taken out of the equation. Geek Fam really bombing out in this round, all thanks to Argon MY, who are having a field day out here today. Spark turns around. Pedro will be able to help him out as well. And Geek Fam now just absolutely annihilated in the final round.
They decided that was such a weird play by Geek Fam. I think they were just like, oh yeah, we lost 2. Let's just go next. You know what I mean? Because they just like ran in. They realized that the numbers were not to their advantage. It was like 2 versus 4 going against Argon Malaysia. It was going to be pretty much a Hail Mary at this point. Not really going to work out for them. And they got eliminated for that. A bit of a misplay there by Geek Fam. And something that we've seen throughout the day. They were not very consistent. They haven't done very, very well, at least, just for today.
If you are a fan of Hero, you need to start praying for them right now because they are in a very tough situation. They dropped by the spot of Ski Lodge after Dua Bradik was already there. They were the team that I saw kind of flying in before the flight path kind of got switched out with the gameplay. And Hero, they were late to the party in terms of the loots, and they almost have nothing on them. They have to back away. They cannot afford a fight against Dua Bradik. Although the mechanical skills from Dua Bradik is not all that too supreme to punish Hero from the get-go, they just can't afford any early damages in here, man. So good decision making once again coming through from this team that's just now finding their momentum in this particular competition.
Yeah. Survive, right? You understand what is at stake. You understand your arsenal. You don't really have anything to kind of keep yourself going. So, Hero, this is a really smart play. They're looking, hey, we're not seeing any action over here. We're going to hopefully get some loot in this compound up ahead. And if anything, they're looking around. They're just kind of finding what they can. So this is a really smart play by them, just kind of with the disengage. Now, mind you, this is still very early. Yes, Geek Fam have been eliminated 12th, but now comes the circle, and here's the giant shift of all the different teams. Everybody needs to understand that they need to make their way northeast. That is Argon Malaysia, almost to the south. EWG, there'll probably be a little bit of a skirmish there. Nox Umbrella, kind of in the southern campsite area. Are they going to gatekeep? This is probably one of those moments where maybe you look to take that advantage because of the fact that you have a, superior position, right? People need to walk into you. That said, Freedom Rumble, this is a team that we understand that, hey, they like to stick around, and they're going to continue to do so, and they're going to look for that pickoff. But, AJ, going into this one, Freedom Rumble, is this, do you like this play style of just, waiting around towards the later circles and then getting your pickoffs?
Absolutely, man. And Freedom Rumble most definitely is a team that has tried the exact opposite strategy and realized that, over-aggression early on, not really the best way to maintain their run in towards the grand finals, right? Because Freedom Rumble, they're not the apex predators, nor are they the bottom feeders. And they just want to make sure that they don't get too complacent with some of their strategies in here. And they don't want to fall way too behind, right? They're trying to maintain the top 5 for them. But it's just seeming to be a little bit of a stress because just like Icon, whenever they get into that final zone, so many of those prime predators out there. Now Hero just getting fired upon. Epic! Asian will be able to find Iman GG. Oh no! Iman GG, their prime player. The one that might just be able to win these matches for the side of Hero. They go in there for the immediate save and they back away from this encounter. They do not want this fight against Epic. But they're stuck on a tiny little island here. And this might just spell trouble.
No, Eman GG's down. Rizal as well. Hero, I want them to just kind of pick him up, but Eman already goes down. Unfortunate, especially after the monster game he just had. But it looks like the call has been made. Hero is just looking to run. Rizal gets killed on his way out. Epic just being these ultimate bullies from the sniper watchtowers, just making sure that it's very painful for Hero as they look to just run away.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this was just terrible decision making from Hero because first of all, they jumped out of the initial flight way too late and they headed for a compound which you should know if you've been playing for Free Fire for quite a while. If you kind of miss a drop spot, you can't really double back on it because you won't be able to see exactly how many teams dropped on in there. You won't be able to get the information as to where some of these players dropped, and that kind of just really caught them off guard. And when they found out that Dua Bradik was already at the compound, they just started running away. Dua Bradik just runs them into Epic, and now Epic will continue this battle, and that just leaves Hero out of the equation, man. I believe they still do have one more player running around somewhere, or are they already out?
I think I think Geek Fam is the only team that's been eliminated. So they do have at least somebody. So you have a little bit of a chance. But as I say that, Team Princess, they need to turn this up. They walk into a building with Sari Roar. They're looking to just kind of skirmish here. But this is kind of an awkward position because there's just so many glue walls and he's trying to find it. But Team Princess, he gets knocked alpha. Unfortunately there. Sari Roar is looking to turn this up. Donkey gets the nice knock. And Team Princess has been eliminated. That was another favorite. 2 heavyweights already out of the game.
Yeah, and Team Princess once again kind of proving the theory that they just don't like getting into gunfights. You know, the moment they spot some of these players, they seem to get a little shaken. They back away into a defensive position and almost always shut down a little too early. But as they try to keep their head down, it's just so long that, you know, that strategy is going to work out for you. It's just like how the gods of RNG kind of serve up all of these maps a little bit differently. The challenges are going to be a little bit different. And if they continuously just play for those placement points, this is what they can expect, right? And Team Princess, they kind of just bomb out a little bit early here. Hopefully, they will be able to find their momentum tomorrow. Sorry, Raw, getting caught by Epic as they try to kind of squeeze them in. And Epic's just caught in a terrible place right now.
Yeah. It's you got to make a move at some point. You're on an island, like even a smaller island. You're gonna have a rough time here, but this is one of those moments where you need to start thinking about moving. There's not a whole lot of space. Yeah, you've got a sniper rifle, but nobody wants to come to your island. You need to go to their island, and this is going to be the awkward position of how they actually proceed this, because there's really not a whole lot of cover going across that bridge, as they literally have it covered. But very difficult position to be in.
And they still continue to fire off, looking for a couple of kills here, but I believe they will be able to find absolutely no one. Sorry, Raw, just taking those shots up against them, but Epic looks like they are quite well stocked in the medkit department, not really too worried, and they also have the beat on them, thanks to DJ Alok, and they will be able to recover all of that HP that they lose without really expending their medkits. So overall, Epic's not really too shaken with this situation that they're put into. They just need to play the game of patience, wait for the zone to come in, perhaps a third party. But as we say that, they can just try to move away to the other side as well, because if they were paying attention, Duo Brady seems to have left the building.
Yeah, they did leave, and they could look to just kind of turn their attention elsewhere. I mean, at the end of the day, I would assume that the next circle would be probably more to the south, especially since there's more maps, but that is a fortuitous one. Epic don't need to go anywhere, and they're happy with that, as they're almost in the center of this next circle here. But the next circle after this one is going to be very interesting in terms of how that one plays out, because Epic doesn't need to go anywhere.
Yeah, and here's where you make your gamble, right? Where's the zone going to go? Do we move? Because, you know, if you don't move, and all of the other players are now squeezed into the tiny little map right across of you, it's going to be so much more difficult for them to get out of their compound, because there's just a body of water all around them, and they need to go in there for a swim. They can't shoot whilst they're swimming. It's just an unfortunate situation to get caught in. So big decisions need to be made, big bets. Oh, what a nade! But finds nobody except the motorcycle. Error with the shots back with the car. Will not be able to find Ali just yet. But as the players of No Escape Umbrella kind of waste some time here, Blacklist International just making their way quickly up this hill to see if they can snuff out a few of these players and pick up those kill points. But as they run away, they might just run into Hero as well as Duo Barade.
Oh man, they have the high ground. This is a huge advantage. No Escape Umbrella are continuing to climb, though. They're just kind of, you know, letting them climb up and just getting some shots in. Bills is going to just be the point man, or the rear guard, that is, and he's going to stick around, just try to find something. Grenades are going to be tossed out as well, but they're in a prime position. If Blacklist International is able to overcome this terrible terrain deficit, they're going to be in a, I mean, you know, this is something that we expect of Blacklist International. They can maybe do it, but as I say, that Mural does get knocked here, does get killed by Vegeta as well. This is looking very rough for Blacklist International, who just want to climb up that hill.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, the last thing you want in this situation is for Freedom Rumble to be taking pot shots from the back. Cobra now on the ground. And this is a GG for Blacklist International. They have lost their CQC specialist, and they most definitely will not be too happy as they try to squeeze into that final zone. Freedom Rumble bagging a lot from that. And the danger zone kind of putting the players of No Escape Umbrella in a very tight spot. And now Kaz can't even sneak into that watchtower because Hero's final player is sitting down in there in the form of Rambo. And Kaz, he doesn't want to get over aggressive. Neither does he want to step on in there. He's just waiting for some backup, but the backup is a little busy. Duo Barade attacking them from the back.
Yeah, Kaz is all by himself. That's so weird. I mean, the fact that, like, he knew he's one-on-one, he didn't want to take that one. Kaz is going to look to just kind of run away. He's got a glue wall to protect his rear, at least for now, as the last member of Hero is getting some pot shots. But it looks like they're going to continue to fight. There's going to be a little bit more action. X-Spot is looking to just run in. Blacklist International's been eliminated. 10 and 3 heavyweights have been eliminated first in this final match of the day.
That's a smart play by Export. Jumped through the window. Guy couldn't catch him in time. Great avoidance. Vegeta was there for the backup. Superb play from Freedom Rumble. And now we continue on with Dua Barade going up against No Escape Umbrella. Dua Barade on top. And Gaz gets knocked down by Kimi. Smart plays coming through. Kimi now can't go anywhere. Gaz will have to find an opportunity to get picked up here. And he needs to play this safely because Nate comes popping in as well. But they clear out in the nick of time. And No Escape Umbrella in a good position, at least for the time being.
Yeah, it was like a complete going in. The other one was going out, and they were just moving along. But no Escape Umbrella right now are trying to draw a beat on 2B right here. 2B are kind of spread around. They've got some high ground, some low ground. They're kind of mixed throughout, a little bit difficult for them to be flushed out. Metrics, on the other hand, we haven't talked too much about them since, the first 2 games. It seems like they've been a little bit more passive, looking for those placement points, just trying to keep themselves alive. As I say that, looks like there's going to be a little bit of action going in right now.
Ooh, response nade, but misses Troop by a mile. Pydro right behind. Time Turner smartly pulled out, and he's not going to be able to touch the guy. And Nade's right behind. Metrics now going in for the shutdown. Troop on the ground. Rai from the back. Double Vectors will be able to put on a lot of pressure, and Afik cannot save his team member, and Argon MY forced to the back. Metrics still going in here with the push, and the double Vectors will not be able to get a kill, but a lot of pressure now being played. Rai comes right back out. Chill with the opportunity for a knock, but there's just so much of pressure and so much of bullets in this double vector that they need to deal with. But finally, the numbers overcomes. Rai on the ground. Riven, the final player in here to take this fight, but that's not going to be possible for him as the numbers will catch up. And Argon MY, 8 kills in here so far. They are on a roll.
Yeah, they're completely owning that one. They were just completely dominant. I think just the way that the teams are very focused. They stick to the same enemy player, and they look to just focus on that one. Whereas the other teams are just looking for individual one-on-one battles. Argon Malaysia, on the other hand, are like very focused in making sure that they do secure those kills when they can. As I say that, Freedom Rumble, they do have 4 kills. Only 2 members left, though. This is going to be a little bit tougher, especially since there's 8 teams. There's so many different teams out there, but none of them are really at full strength. So this is almost anybody's game, especially considering there's only 23 players left in this game.
Decision making. Does Freedom Rumble step out first, or will they allow Dua Barade to be the little bit of a bait here while they step up and then finish up against No Escape Umbrella? A lot of those decisions will really decide exactly how this ends up. Argon MY with 1 player now stuck between all of those sorry draw players, and he pays a huge price for it. Hero still right beside this player from Argon MY. Chill, and he will get knocked down. Afik taken out by Rembo. Hero still in the game, and they're bringing in a lot of effect.
Yeah, and if we're looking at Hero Rembo all by himself, he's still got 1 kill, though. He's looking for some sort of pick on. Argon Malaysia, though, not full strength as well. Chill is just kind of literally chilling in that corner right there, just making sure that he's staying alive. Again, looking for placement points. This is the 8 teams left, right? You're not getting a lot of points right now, and they know that, especially with the number 21 players left, that at any moment, players could fall, teams can fall at any moment, so you can just jump up in the placement points. So you play it a little bit safe. As I say that, Rembo and Chill are kind of like, hey, they have like a diplomatic, we're not going to fire at one another. We're going to be, give ourselves some space, social distancing at its best. But nonetheless, if we're looking at the circle, Epic still in the middle, very fortuitous with that circle. Don't need to go anywhere.
Smart play of that time turner by Kaiser, and Dua Barade still surviving thanks to that very, very pixel perfect pull in that. Dua unfortunately knocked down and shut down. Argon MY actually taken out, and Rembo will be able to find another kill onto a player of Freedom Rumble. Rembo and Hero still alive, but unfortunately for how long more? Because look now as he tries to get into the final zone. Sorry, Raw right in front. Dua Barade taken out of the equation. Guy says bye-bye. Freedom Rumble says goodbye on the 4th spot as well. And now Epic, the team that was having the most unfortunate situation earlier on, now has the prime position, but they have to swim across to the final zone in that body of water. What is going on, Free Fire?
This is so in favorable of Epic right now. That's just so amazing, right? Like, it's literally in the middle of the circle. They just realized that, if we can't find anybody picking it off, we're just going to have to make a dash for it. We got to swim for it. It's going to be like the Olympics. Who can swim the fastest? It doesn't matter about your guns or whatnot. But as I say that, Zigga is just getting some pickoffs. Knocks Umbrella eliminated 3rd. We're down to our final 2.
Yeah, now sorry, we're all going up against Epic. Who's gonna win this swim off, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Ziga, unfortunately, cannot do much. Aimera snuffs him out from across. Donkey will be able to knock him down. Oh, Kepa taken out as well. This is a fight that's kicking off even before that zone goes in here and pushes them. Nobody wants to go in for a swim to play survival just yet. They want to get those kills. Ashen taken out. What a play by Sorry Raw as they secure the booyah.
That was so well played. Sorry, Roar, just very, very smart, realizing that they got the early pickoff, the early knock, realizing that, Epic was not able to just swim across. That was not going to happen, especially at this stage. And so it's going to be like, who's going to be the closest to it? And so Sorry, Roar, Boy Bro, okay, so all of those guys, just a big, big shout out to Sorry, Roar. They really needed this one. I believe that's their first booyah of the league. So very, big props to Sorry Roar. They're, congratulatory. They're very happy, understanding that they're finishing very strong. This is exactly what you want as Sorry Roar as you go into the day 4 coming up. That will be tomorrow, but just really well played by Sorry Roar.
Yeah, it's just, you never know exactly what to expect from some of these rounds as these teams continuously try to step over each other and aim for the top. But there's one thing that Sorry Raw has been able to do really well, which is keep a good balance between the placement points as well as the kill points. And for now, their target is just one thing, just to make sure they're comfortable in the top 12 before they start getting a little bit more creative with their plays. And it looks like they've finally managed to get into that one stride that they were aiming for all this while. And now that they're in the top 12, I expect them to, just show us more of this aggression as they continue climbing up. But clearly, it's not going to be easy, man. The league stages of the Free Fire Challengers Malaysia Season 1 is proving to be super duper tough, as even those top dogs have some off days. And when they kind of just take a short little nap, the others immediately grab their spot holler.
Yeah. It's anybody will take, it could be anybody's day, right? It's one of those things where if a team is not stepping up, Geek Fam, you're not playing well, Blacklist International, you're not playing well. Okay, we're gonna have all these other teams just really step it up. Even Hero stepped up, Icon stepped up. I mean, we just saw a lot of the teams just really pick it up today, and that was, for me as as a Free Fire a viewer, these are the things that I want to see. I want to see this competitive. I want to see the lower team. I love the underdog story. I want these teams to continue to play. But we're gonna go into the highlights now. Argon Malaysia gets a nice little knock here. Geek Fam, this is the first demise. This is where they get eliminated into 12, and it was just not a good day for Geek Fam, but just overall.
Yeah, like how Icon had a great run in here today, securing 2 booyahs for themselves, one all right round, and then they just jumped right back up in terms of delivering pure quality through their rounds. Argon MY, on the other hand, they served us up 4 back-to-back solid rounds out of themselves. And 2 of those, they managed to get the booyah. And 2 of the other, they, I believe, managed to grab that second spot for themselves. It's just crazy for a team that hasn't been able to find that full-on consistency in the past, in terms of the kills especially, just really going in there to secure their placements, to finally turn on that aggressive side of them and show us exactly what we've been missing all throughout the competition, all that.
Yeah, their strategy's been I don't know, who's coaching them or if they're, just practicing well together, but they're really in sync with one another. They're very well coordinated. They understand the state of the game. They're very focused, and I'm not just talking about just mentally, but also focus fire. The way that they just kind of focus in on the target. But if we're looking at the points, Sorry Roar, of course, with the first place booyah, and then 10 kill monster game by them, bringing them up to 22. Epic with second place at 17. Knockscape Umbrella, Freedom Rumble, Argon Malaysia 3-4-5, 2 Baradic in 6th, Hero with 7th. Mind you, this is a pretty big story for these guys as well. They had a pretty good game. They survived. There was one last guy. He ended up getting 1 other kill, and then he got the 5 placement points. So big props to Hero, really stepping up for this one. EWG in 8th, Metrics 9th, Blacklist International, Team Princess, and Geek Fam, the 3 heavyweights, 10, 11, and 12.
This particular round for Hero was just Rambo being the hero for the squad, right? Because without him, no placement points. Without him, no extra 1 kill up on the board as well. The guy literally picked up 6 on behalf of the rest of his team members, and they really can give him all of that love. But Hero just needs to make some of these finer decisions a little bit earlier, especially when it comes to picking their drop zones. It's not something where you decide as you get into that kickoff flight. It's something that you decide before you get into the game day itself. And I don't know if or not it was the flight master who kind of kicked off things a little bit late, but either way, that really costed them this round. But even through all of that, they still managed to secure 7. So I just wonder what would have they been able to deliver with just slightly better prepared strategies.
And I hope to see more of this, right? And it's baby steps. You can't be thinking, I'm going to be, like Sorry Roar and getting your booyah 22 points every single day. I mean, if you can get it, that's great. But the thing is that your team right now is not playing like a well-oiled machine. You're you're making some individual good plays and you're surviving and you're getting better and you're improving. And we're seeing that throughout, Challengers Malaysia, right? All of the teams were getting better. Icon Esports really stepped up. Argon Malaysia really stepped up. Freedom Rumble got a ton of kills and they got that 5th round. And then the 6th one was Sorry Roar. We've been saying their name throughout and they finally get that elusive booyah. So big props to Sorry Roar for finishing the day strong.
Yeah, perfect stuff coming out of them in terms of both the kills as well as the placements all throughout the competition, just to play, for the top 12. And now finally to just start the journey in here, perhaps even to the top 5, as if they can continue to bring this momentum that they've started off in here today into tomorrow, they most definitely will be able to do exactly that. But they have to go up against not only Icon Esports tomorrow, not only Argon MY, but some of these top dogs were going to be absolutely pissed that they got shoved to the bottom today. I mean, even in this previous round, GeekFam as well as Blacklist International together with Team Princess right down there at the bottom, that's mind-blowing, man. And because these top dogs have performed not so great, and Argon MY just outshining everyone by a mile, 5 booyahs, they have got the record every single spot, be it placements, be it kills. They are now the apex predators of the competition.
How impressive was that, right? Just the fact that they're so consistent. Getting 5 booyahs over 3 days, that is very impressive, especially since you're playing 4 games each day, right? Argon Malaysia first, Geek Fam, a little bit of a, not the greatest of days, but their cushion has kept them in second place with 136. Blacklist International, not as good as well, 135. Freedom Rumble, who stepped up today, 130. Secret Expert, again, a little bit of a mixed day today, 128. Sorry Roar stepped up, 122. They went from 8th to 6th, a little bit of a jump. Epic 115, AKO 108, Icon in 9th place. That's another big team. But Team Princess, this is a team fall from grace. It was 3rd place. Now they're in 10th place. Team Princess, the only time we were calling these guys out is when they were dying. Really had a rough day, Team Princess. My gosh.
Yeah, absolutely, man. EWG as well as No Escape Umbrella, they see a couple of D ranks in their overall standings. Duo Barade dropping 1 spot as well. They take the 13th spot, and the leaderboards finished off with Metrics, New Gang, Devora, Hero, as well as MNE Diehard at the very bottom. But it has definitely been an amazing day for Hero. They rise back up to the top, and I've got questions for MNE Diehard, man. You cannot be overtaking Hero just on days that they don't show up. You need to be able to play some of this decision. And I guess to the very least, just go in there and research some of these drop zones to make sure at the early stages you get to survive. But if there's one guy that has most definitely been so solid out there today, it was Donkey. Crazy plays, total kills on the 6. He's got 3 assists altogether as well. Not too crazy with the damages, but the hit rate, the trigger discipline on this guy, 61.4, most definitely admirable.
Yeah, very strong showing there. And that's why you're, on the back of this guy, back of Donkey, you're going to get your booyahs, right? And you need to just ride the momentum. You need to understand that Donkey is the guy that's going to get you that. Mind you, the damage, like you said, your team is doing a lot of damage so that he's able to get those kills. So you're really helping out. So we're seeing that, right? The data will show us that in that sense. But the 61%, very impressive. That's a very high hit rate. This guy is not a sniper who's just sticking around, but he's just using his rifle, SMGs, whatever he's got. But Donkey's been able to get those kills, so you know that he's able to really make those shots count. So very well played by Donkey, and we're going to continue to see more of this guy, especially since Sorry Roar is making their way up in the league right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. Let's see exactly how much more of the consistency they will be able to deliver to us, because as Sorry Rock continues climbing up, they are now sitting down in that 6th spot from 11 earlier on up into 6. It most definitely is going to be a super duper confidence boost. But that's the thing, Holler. How do you carry your momentum in here from one day into another?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. This is what separates the bad teams and the good teams. We always talk about consistency and we joke about it and all that stuff, but it's one of those things where you're going to rise to the top. You need to be consistent, and we'll see more of that. Like, are the good teams able to continue that on? We saw like Team Princess, they had some good good games. They were day 1 and day 2, but the thing is that day 3 has been rough on them. So this is, you're talking about inconsistency and the fact that they may not be a top tier team, and we're seeing that, right? They need to really step up. They need to ensure that they're getting those kills or placement points or whatever it is, but today was not one of those days, and you can't really have a whole lot of off days in this league because there's not that much time.
And can we talk about how Geek Fam was only allowed to pick up 16 points overall from today? And I mean, insane, man.
Yeah. They started poorly. I don't know if they were warmed up. I think they got like a 1 or 2 points in like the first 2 games alone. Like, it was just like a really rough day for them. So they did get some points in the end. They salvaged a somewhat, a disastrous day into a somewhat, below average day for them. But, Geek Fam is one of those things that we're going to see more of. They're just going to take this one, and they're going to continue to improve as we go into day 4 tomorrow.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it wasn't that great of a day for Blacklist International as well, because they picked up almost similar points as Geek Fam. So all of the Titans, the group of death in Group C, they seem to be falling one after the other. Tomorrow is the final day for some of these smaller teams to kind of assert their dominance, because at the end of tomorrow, we shuffle the groups just to keep things fresh and alive and the free Fire Challengers Malaysia. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with the one and only amazing Holler, bringing you guys all of this action. We're signing off. Catch you guys tomorrow. will be a hero squad now. Dropping on an M&G from the bottom. Did not expect Coco to pop out of nowhere. And he pulls out the MSMC. Goes in for another spray. Rizal in front of him. No names in his hands. And he will be taken down. No, he does not. He actually manages to knock down Eman. Rizal will be able to respond. The backup comes through as well as Kate.
Yeah, and they're just gonna be fighting and play very tricky terrain to fight. Those moonwalks, they don't really cover all the angles, but Ashen will be able to at least down one. Just get traded back.
Blade comes in through as well with the melee in hand, not able to switch onto his gun in time, gets knocked down onto the ground. Shotgun unable to make the play, and Epic gets taken out. And yes, the grenade launcher comes out, but not much from Mio, still surviving, and he gets the pull!
He will now be the lone survivor with an SMG in hand. That is his Uzi. Can he go for the spray? Ngai's the first one to go. Taken as a rifle. He's got to take the shot. Misses the first one. Second one goes wide. Oh, Taken! You cannot miss those shots. Hit 904. Vanix down to the blue zone. So Hero also gets eliminated by the end of the day.
Stepping on it. Oh, beautiful. He pulls out the blue wall, but the nade still managed to get through us.
Yeah, and the second A also gets a tag on the second floor. You can see that Riven, he does have his own name, but he thinks against it and think I will fight two more on the second floor. Keppa has already made his entrance and they know that they have already won this fight without even trying too hard.
White team, blue team, 2 minutes. 2 balloons, 2 lives.
Okay.
Take your time. Let's go.
Welcome to the new age! Booyah!
Let's go Fire Challengers.
Mana belanja kereta?